going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. How do we start off this show? Because my intro is a little bit too long, as Ed Gross says, bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Open phone lines at 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The reason why the intro is so long, ladies and gentlemen, is because I want to share the show to all the Bucs sites. Okay? So I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and minimize the intro, and then I'll go ahead and also minimize the time that you talk to me on the phone. How about that? Or we'll go ahead and let me do my show. How about that? All right, on tonight's show, we'll have Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, of course, the Sports Web itself. We'll have Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. And then at 10:20, 10:30, there really is no structure to this show, but we try to keep it a little bit structured, as we always do. We'll have the bodyguard of the Berg, Mr. Ralph Williams, and Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and read the comments because I don't want to be accused of not reading the comments, too. First, go Bucs. Thanks a lot, KR. Appreciate you as always.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Ed, I see you out there. Christopher Cole. Third, because Roger Shue is always first. Well, I don't know if he was here or not. Oh, there he is right there. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to KR again. He thinks he is. Ha ha. Christopher Cole, stupid autocorrect. Ed with the, your intro is kind of long. I don't think there's people out there that say, wow, your show is too long. Man, maybe you should cut it to 30 minutes. Maybe you should be like every podcast out there, not have any phone calls, sit here, look at the four walls, and have about 30 minutes of me just talking to you. Maybe I won't take any phone calls. No, that is not the Sports Web. We go as long as you guys call in, and the phone lines are open. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. You ever heard of worth the wait? It's worth the wait, Ed. You got to wait. You got to be patient. It's time for an overhaul of coaches. That's the other thing. Dave Canales, your new head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Congratulations. Got a chance to meet him. And then he also took run coordinator Harold Goodwin, Joe Gilbert, offensive line coach. And now tonight, which broke about an hour and a half ago, special teams coach Keith Armstrong has retired. But there is some good news, Bucs fans. Don't, because you're only five days into this whole process. Everybody thinking the sky is falling or something. Like, there's plenty of coaches out there. They got a plan. They know what they're doing. But we'll discuss it. Tom Moore returning for his 46th season. He's 85 years old. Amazing. Absolutely. All right. So there you go. Greg DeCruz, Pura Vida. Thank you. Costa Rica says hola. Hola to you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Mr. Kurt Pento. Hey, Pete, love your passion. Absolutely. Got to bring it. If you do notice, I've been a little bit sick, so my voice is, in and out. So you're going to have to bear with me, if you will. I was thinking about, you know what? I'm not going to do a show because the intro is too long. I'm sorry. I got to pick at you, Ed. I got to do it. But I decided to come on here. Phones and super chats are open. Facebook stars, YouTube super chats. So if the show is too long or the intro is too long, go ahead and donate to the effort. Because guess what? That receipt hasn't been long enough. You guys need to donate when it comes to Facebook stars. If you're going to complain about my intro being too long, and YouTube super chats. Let's go out to my co-host here. Here we go. Does this guy have a long enough intro for you? Former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. The legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. How you doing tonight, my friend? Where do we start here? Do we go with talking about the Bucs and losing all their coaches? Do we talk about this team right now, or their fan base getting up in arms about that? Do we talk about the NFC Championship game, the AFC Championship game, as now we know Super Bowl 58 has two teams there with the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs? Or do we talk about your intro being too long? Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television.
Oh, we can talk about your love life, Peter.
Hey, let's not talk about that because that won't be a long conversation. In fact, let's just go ahead and put this out there. Let me go full screen on this. A special edition of the Sports Web, because where would you rather be on Valentine's Day? You guys are lucky. I'm single, have never been married, and don't have any kids. Guess what? This is what I love here. I love the Tampa Bay sports fans, even if some of you get on my nerves sometimes with saying my intro is too long. A special edition on Valentine's Day here just for you on that Wednesday night. So
hey, Peter, here comes the best part.
Yes.
It's also Ash Wednesday.
Well, there you go. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is crazy. All right, Leo. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about first and foremost, Dave Canales leaving for Carolina, now taking Harold Goodwin with him, and then also Joe Gilbert. You find out today, I was talking to Greg Allman about this comments in just a little bit. In fact, I'll tell you what, go ahead and stand by. I'm going to play these comments from Greg Allman in care of the JP Peterson show. So stand by with that. I want to go out to this because a lot of people were asking me, what's going on? How come the Bucs aren't blocking that situation? Greg Allman of Fox Sports, who covers the NFC South, explains it so well here on the evolution of sports talk television. Enjoy. Greg, in your opinion, are you surprised that the Bucs then blocked some of these moves? Because Canales, he did show flashes of brilliance the second half of the year, even though the running game did struggle. A lot of fans would ask, why didn't the organization block some of these moves? Namely, Canales, the wide receiving coach. Now you lose Gilbert and also Goodwin. So why wouldn't the Bucs as an organization block some of these moves?
Well, you can't block an assistant from interviewing for a head coaching job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how the league works. If it's a promotion, you can't block it. If it's a lateral move, if Canales want to interview for an OC job, they'd probably say no. I mean, they can do that. But if somebody who's not a head coach wants to try and be a head coach, you can't block that. If somebody who's not a coordinator wants to be a coordinator, you can't block that. So that's why Idzik is now a coordinator and Canales is now a head coach. You know, yesterday with Harold Goodwin and Joe Gilbert, their contracts were up. So they no longer have the right to tell them what to do. You know, and if you let a coach's contract come up, you're probably okay with the idea of losing him. And I think in this context, it was just they're going to bring in a new offensive coordinator. And for you to get the offensive coordinator you want, in general, that guy's going to want to be able to bring in his own people, you know, to come in and say, hey, it's your offense, but we're going to give you these three assistants that are used to doing it this way. You're welcome to try and coach them to do it your way. Most of the time, a head coach wants their new staff. And we have a defensive head coach. The offensive coordinator is essentially the head coach of the offense. So they're going to want to bring in, hey, this guy was with me for 6 years in Seattle. Hey, this guy, I know he does this. He understands this. You know, you'll bring in your own people. So I think, you know, absolutely. Joe Gilbert, Harold Goodwin, big parts of that Super Bowl team. They've been here 5 years, you know, well-liked, well-respected. But if you know you're changing hands on offense, as they know they are, let the guy, you know, get a new job, probably get a nice bump. I would think Carolina's paying those assistants pretty well if they're giving Canales a 6-year deal.
All right, so welcome back to the evolution. Let's go out to Leo here. I mean, it makes perfect sense, and I just feel like with losing those coaches, and I get it, a lot of Bucs fans are up in arms right now. They thought this offense could do the same thing. Maybe you'll have the same type of effort. Although you look at 30 seconds when it comes to rushing, not necessarily the best. Just a midway offense. They improved in the second half of the year. They didn't want these coaches back because if they really wanted them back, they would have re-signed them. So Todd Bowles and this staff, this administration, they want to improve on this offense, right?
Well, you know what, Peter? I think Greg hit the nail on the head. It's not a matter they don't want him back, but if you want to bring in an offensive coordinator, you're going to have to keep him happy with some positions that he can bring in. Mm-hmm. Because think about when the Bucs won the Super Bowl when Gruden came in. Hey, Gruden was the head coach, but he was told, you're keeping Monty Kiffin, you're keeping Joe Barry, you're keeping Rod Marinelli, you're keeping Mike Tomlin. And you know why Gruden said okay? It was defense.
Yeah.
Gruden, he can't even spell defense. So, you know, he didn't care. But again, Todd Bowles is doing the defense. So the offensive coordinator needs to have some leverage needs to have some space where he can bring in his people who are familiar with his offense. So yeah, it's not that the Bucs didn't want them, but it would not be something prudent. Here's my SAT word of the day.
Very nice.
For the Bucs to keep them.
Yeah, and again, I think there's room for improvement. Alex Van Pelt has been interviewed. That's kind of the guy that I'm looking at. And also Thad Lewis. We'll get back to Lewis in a moment because JP asked about him today. And I want you to hear what Greg Allman has to say. And I want fans to listen to what he has to say about him because he's an interesting candidate. But going back to Alex Van Pelt, is that the guy you think that they're circled on or they're trying to make him eventually the offensive coordinator of this team because not only has he coached with the Bucs before with Josh Freeman and Raheem Morris way back in 2011, but also he has experience with Baker Mayfield in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge thing because Peter, we talked about this before. Does Baker get a little say in this? And I don't think he's got a say, but I think he's got some influence. I think, it's going to filter down the locker room, and he may go to Todd Bowles. Hey, look, you're interviewing this guy. I like him. I can work for him. I think that's what happened. I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to storm into Todd Bowles' office. You need to interview this guy, this guy, this guy. I don't think that's going to happen. But when they get to the point of bringing people in, I think Baker's going to kind of get in there and say, hey, yeah, I can this guy would be better for me to work with than this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
All right, I'm going to go out to the comments because this is a fully interactive show here on The Evolution. Phones and super chats are open once again. Jim says, let's go, Peter Blake. Here is your sound effect, my friend.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you?
All right, there you go. Andrew Fullbear. Hey, brother, what's going on, buddy? Roger Shue says intro is too long. Of course you would say that. I'll tell you what. Let's go out to our phone lines. Let's hear from Bucs fans as they want to talk about the coaching changes or whatever else is on their mind. Let's go out to one of my favorite webheads. Curtis, welcome to The Evolution.
What's going on, Pete? Leo, how you guys doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. What do you think about all these coaching changes? And, of course, the news tonight, Keith Armstrong, special teams coach, has decided to retire. So your thoughts?
Yeah. Tell Keith, I just want to say shout out to Keith. Good luck in retirement, man. Whatever. I mean, no, seriously.
Not a big time fan of Keith Armstrong, huh?
No. I actually love Keith Armstrong, but
right.
He if he decided to walk away, then he decided to walk away.
Right.
It's it takes a big man to walk away when he knows it's time to walk away. So for himself and his family.
Absolutely.
My concern is this: we watched the history of Baker Mayfield when he loses or changes offensive coordinators.
Right.
That is my concern. I mean, now is this offense, which wasn't that great, is it going to regress or is it going to get better?
Let me go out to the coach here because he's coached before. Is that the biggest concern for not only Bucs fans, but the Bucs organization? Once again, you're changing an offensive coordinator. And I go back to Thad Lewis, it's going to be a new offense, but then again, it may not be a new offense because he's worked with Baker. I mean, what do you make of that whole situation of Baker once again playing in a new offense? How does that affect him in your opinion?
I think the biggest concern right now, Peter, is I don't think the Bucs are sold on Baker Mayfield for long term.
Wow.
Because if they were, they'd have signed him by now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of sitting there. Why would you get an offensive coordinator when you don't know who the quarterback's going to be? So I think this is kind of backwards, if you follow where I'm going.
Sure.
I think you need to figure out, okay, is Baker Mayfield our guy? I think he is. Don't get me wrong, because Baker can give you a good 2-3 years still, and you can plan accordingly. And you get to find out about Trask. You got to figure that in too.
Yeah,
you're exactly right. Yeah, you got to figure, okay, let's get Baker on board, or let's go in a different direction. Then we hire an offensive coordinator. The fact that you may hire an offense coordinator and Baker may jump ship. Okay, that's not a good move. So I think you need to get Baker back in the fold first, if that's the plan, or get somebody in there.
Well, 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, including the postseason. I definitely think they found their quarterback now. For how long and how much, that's the next question mark. But I kind of feel like they're going through him and trying to get his input on the new offensive coordinator, what would make him happy, because at the end of the day, you want to make him happy. If you're looking to bring him back, I will say this: the last couple of years, the only quarterback that's been on the roster is Kyle Trask. And the coaches have basically said, nope, we're so, there's Bucs fans out there, Gator fans that may think highly of Kyle Trask. The coaches may not necessarily share your opinion because they continue to turn down this job. I'm just saying it may also be not necessarily the best fit. Curtis, what else?
The question that I have for both of you,
yes,
you, Jim, I have a couple questions, but the first question is, what is Baker worth?
I think it's 30 to 35 million. I think if you get him for 30 to 35 million dollars, and again, I said this on the JP Peterson show, what you do is you sell him on the fact that this organization has been loyal. Second of all, do you want to go to another organization? Do you want to start all over again? Third, if you want Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and all these weapons, plus our team to be more flexible, because look, Baker, you're only one game away from being in the NFC Championship. Look, Baker, you're only 2 games away from being in the Super Bowl. We can get this done if you take a little less money than the other high-paid quarterbacks, because, history shows that. I think we can get something done. That's what I sell him on.
Can I chime in on that one, guys?
Sure, go for it, my friend.
I'm definitely
the hardest thing is we see what's going on in Florida with no state income tax.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay somebody less money, and in the bottom line, they'll get more. Here's the problem, though. The agent. The agent gets 4% of the contract. He doesn't give a rat's patoot as to where they're signing. He wants the most money. So if Tampa Bay offers 30, and let's say the Raiders offer 40, or the Chargers, or let's take somebody out there in California.
Let's say the Commanders. Let's say the Commanders.
Yeah, the Commanders offer him 40. Well, he'll make more money in Tampa for 30 than he will for 40 up in Washington, but the agent won't. And that's that. Nobody's kind of figuring in that. Well, guess what? I've seen it done, and I've seen it happen. That's where Baker has to step in and say, hey, I want this because I'm going to get more take home than I will up here. Peter, are you there? Peter, I think I lost you.
Hi, Leo.
I think we lost Peter.
That's okay. I don't know what happened. I mean, welcome to the Sports Web. I just got on. I'm your host, Harry the Greek, I guess, with my I don't know. I got some really good bourbon. How you doing, Leo?
I'm doing fine, Harry. And all of a sudden, Peter just vanished. So, but the clock is still. Oh, wait a second. Here's an attempt. Here's an
I see the
attempt.
attempt. I see the attempt. You know what? Let me go ahead and fix this all up over here. We got Peter in the middle for some reason. Peter, you there?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys. Internet is going crazy right now. I guess we.
That's okay, buddy. That's okay. You look a lot better that way. I got to be honest.
I despise you at this point. I really do.
So what's going on, gentlemen? I mean, what a set of games over the course of the weekend. I mean, Kansas City's beating Baltimore, Detroit taking, San Francisco down to the wire like that, and then giving up, I think it was 21 unanswered points. I mean, Leo, I'd love to know what your analogy was with that Detroit game.
Well, the funny thing is, Harry, it went just according to Hoyle for the Detroit Lions. They basically beat up the 49ers like they beat up the Rams and beat up the Bucs in the trenches. And right before half, Dan Campbell had to decide, are you going for it on fourth down and trying to get the touchdown or kick a field goal? Well, he kicked the field goal. Put him up 24-7, okay? Now, I thought that was going to happen in the second half, but again, Dan Campbell did what Dan Campbell has done all year. They've gone for more fourth downs than any team in the NFL. But what bothers me the most, and I'm going to put this one on his assistants if it didn't happen, somebody should have been in his ear when it was 24-17 and they have a shot at a field goal and they go for it on fourth down. I just said, hey, Dan, we kick a field goal, we go up 10. Now we're more than one score. Now, if we don't get this fourth down, they can't go down and tie the game. Let's kick the field goal. Now, if somebody did that and Dan said, no, we're just going to go for it, okay, fine. But your job as an assistant is to present as many options as you can think of. I just don't think anybody got to Dan Campbell and said, hey, we kick a field goal, we go up 10. Now, instead of 24-17, it's 27-17. That's important.
That's a really good perspective, but I have to tell you, man, let's be real. They've been doing this all year long. The Detroit Lions have been doing this all year long. When you failed to do this, to kick the field goal, forget the one only being a score up, but for Christ's sakes, are you kidding me? 4th and 3. And you're going to try to go for it against one of the best defenses in the entire National Football League, and you're not taking the points on the road in an NFC championship games? Look, man, I've seen people with testicles the size of basketballs, okay, but that's just ridiculous. You don't do that. And I'll tell you what, had that been any other coach, they'd be fired. They'd be fired for that. That is some of the most poor decision-making I've ever seen in a playoff game. It just really is. I'm going to say it right now. He's in trouble. That team's in trouble. That's horrible. I don't even know what else to say.
You know what, Harry? I'm gonna disagree with you on that they're in trouble, because that's their modus operandi. That's what they've done all year. And he's been successful. And when he kicked the field goal before half, I think, hey, they're going to play it close to the vest, smart thing. And then they didn't, and I don't know what happened to cause that. Now, was his kicker hurt? We don't know. But to pass on one is deplorable. To pass on two is inexcusable.
I gotta agree with you on everything you're saying, except I think they're in trouble because you don't get that close to a franchise that has never been to a Super Bowl, let alone win a playoff game, since literally you and I have been kids. I know I'm exaggerating a little bit because we're older than dirt. I mean, we both know who Moses is, but for Christ's sakes, man, Didn't
Moses play free safety somewhere?
I think so, but you got to kick the field goal out there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you got a question or comment, don't forget to go ahead and post it there. We're going to go ahead and read it live. I don't know what's happening with Peter right now, but from what what I understand, he's gotten some technical difficulties. So I'm your host, Harry the Greek, live here on the Sports Web, along with Leo Haggerty, and I'm sure Pete will be coming around. Let me go ahead and get to some of the comments that are going out there. KR says, first, go Bucks. Edward Gross says, what's up? Christopher Cole says, third, because Roger Shue is always first. He's laughing out loud. KR says he think he is. Ha ha. Christopher Cole says, stupid autocorrect. And lo and behold, your intro is kind of long. No kidding. Peter, I think you're back, aren't you, buddy?
I guess I am, but I don't have any camera right now. I don't know what the hell is going on with
Well,
this.
can I make a suggestion live on air?
What's that?
Okay, what you need to do is go ahead and shut your system down. You're not going to kill it because I have your StreamYard up and running.
Okay.
And restart your what do you call it? Your cam. You're not the modem, but your video cam, and remove your cam card in and out from your PC.
All right, stand by, guys.
Not a problem. We're just talking over here. Going back to the comments.
Harry, I'm gonna throw this before you get back to comment. I'm gonna throw this question out to you.
Go ahead, sir.
Did the 49ers and the Chiefs win, or did the Ravens and the Lions lose?
That's a great question, and I'll tell you what. I told everybody that Frisco would win this game. Let me be really clear. I'm going to tell you exactly what I said was going to happen in this game. Detroit was going to play an unbelievable first half and probably be winning by the end of the first half. And I predicted that San Francisco would be too much to handle. Lo and behold, it's not that they were too much to handle. It was bad coaching from Detroit. But my prognostication actually came true. And I think Detroit lost the game. I don't think that San Francisco did anything special or miraculous to win that game. Detroit should have won that game. And Baltimore, shame on you. Shame on you for running the football 6 times. And now everybody's blaming Lamar Jackson when, in fact, you got the best rushing team in the National Football League, and you're rushing the ball 6 times. I mean, really, Leo? Who really won the game, or who actually lost the game? Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers. But, man, I honestly don't believe that San Francisco should be in there. And I'm still on the fence about the Baltimore Ravens. What do you think, Leo?
Yeah, I don't understand the Ravens thinking. And I think we saw a little bit of panic in that Ravens offense, because Kansas City goes down, boom, boom, scores twice, and now they're thinking, oh, we got to do it. No. There's plenty of time left. You know, dance with what brung you. And the problem is they didn't. They were out. And when's the last time you've seen a playoff game where not 1 but 2 turnovers in an opposition's end zone? I mean, that's 14 points, pretty much. And that's the football game right there. Bingo, bango, bongo. So that's crazy.
Yeah, there were a couple of touchdowns that actually didn't count for Baltimore, which I was pretty shocked about. I can still see Peter's having some difficulty still trying to get in there. It says some things are not connected. I don't know. Poor guy's having problems with it.
Well, you know what? Our paycheck goes up this week then, because we're doing a double.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to get paid. I think he owes us double chicken wings. I think you and I are going to be waiting until, I don't know, Bethesda comes back to life. Yeah, I think so. Hey, what's going on in the world of Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Canales what's he doing? Taking half the offensive staff with him, Leo? I mean, what's your insight on this?
Well, but my thing was this. You know, when Canales got hired, I said, you know, the biggest problem is he has 2 organizations to choose from. He's been in Seattle for 12 years, and then he was Tampa for 1 year. How's he going to fill out his staff? Well, guess what? Filled it out in a hurry, because he talked the offensive assistants into coming with him, because none of them were under contract. So, you know, it wasn't like the Bucs could say, no, you can't interview them. They weren't under contract. And you know what? He did the Bucs a favor, because now they can decide on who the offensive coordinator is, and he can bring some of his guys in. Because remember, when Gruden got the job, the Glazers told him.
Good point.
Rich McKay told him, look, you're having Monty Kiffin, you're having Rod Marinelli, you're having Joe Barry, you're having Mike Tomlin. And you know what Gruden said? Fine, they're defense. I can't spell defense. I don't care about defense. I'm going to score points. And that's what's happening here. Todd Bowles, defense. He wants the offensive coordinator to come in and have a little leeway, have a little leverage, so he can bring people in with him. So, and again, I equate this all back to Raheem Morris. When Raheem Morris got the job after Gruden got fired,
Right.
it was right after he went out and had what we were told was a great interview. I think it was with Denver. And the Glazers were afraid of losing him, so they said, hey, we're going to make you the head coach. Well, Raheem's not going to turn it down. Was he ready? No. Is Canales ready? Probably not. But, there's only 31 guys in the world that are in that fraternity. So when that brass ring comes around, you better grab it.
If you had a wish list and then a reality list, who do you wish would be the OC here in Tampa? And in reality, who do you think may be? And you can pick more than one. I mean, let's hear who your ideas are.
When you look at what's going on in Tampa, I think the biggest problem here, Harry, is I think they got things backwards, if you know what I mean.
No, I understand.
You got to figure out if you're keeping Baker Mayfield or not. Because I don't think Baker is going in to Todd Bowles' office and saying, hey, you need to interview this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. The Bucs need to make a decision. Is Baker our guy? Then you hire the offensive coordinator. Because if they hire an offensive coordinator and Baker bolts to another place, is that a bad hire because you don't have the right quarterback? So I think the Bucs need to decide, okay, are we keeping Baker or not? Fine. If we're keeping Baker, then let's interview from there. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if if they decide to stay, he goes in and actually says, hey, of these guys you interviewed, I would work well with this guy. And, Van Pelt is a guy that he's dealt with in Cleveland already. So that would be at the top of my list. It's also a reality list. That would happen, I think.
That's a pretty good analogy. Hey, lo and behold, from the cheap seats, he's going to be coming back live. The host, the man, the myth, the legend in his own mind, Mr. Peter Blake.
Wow, my own mind.
Did that work when you had to reinsert your cam card?
No, I had to actually reset the whole deal. I don't know what's going on tonight.
No, did you remove your cam card?
Yes.
And put it back in? That's the problem. It happened to me a couple of weeks ago doing the same exact things. That generally means you have to spend another $150 and get another one because it's getting ready to go out. Well, and if you touch it and feel it and it feels warm, his cam card, not the other thing, it's generally getting ready to explode.
Yeah. And you know what, guys? I just have the daggone hamster run a little faster here. That's what I get on.
Well, I tell you right now, I want to go out to this guy here. Here's his sound effect.
Oh, he got me. Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you?
Jim, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television with yours truly, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, and the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. What do you got?
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing great, buddy. How you doing? Besides computer problems, I'm just special. It's great. Love it.
Oh, man, I thought you had got sick. Went on the bed, Peter Blake.
I know. I just decided to take the day off and let these guys do it. And I tell you right now, they do a hell of a job, do they not? I mean, the legend Leo, Harry the Greek, he can host his own show. In fact, I don't understand why the man doesn't host his own show when I'm not doing a show. I'm just saying. Oh, yes, I get it.
Hey, guys, can I interrupt for 1 second real quick?
Yes.
South Florida men's basketball. 6-game winning streak. They're 7-1 in the AAC. They go up to East Carolina and win 70-61 tonight.
Yeah,
East Carolina is like the equivalents to Tarpon High School or Gulf High School, isn't it? I'm kidding you. 6-game win streak? Seriously?
Yep. Yeah, and they beat.
That's pretty important. What's the record?
They are now 14-5.
Ooh,
and
they might get a chance for the dance this year.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you what, there are times, Harry, that I'm the only media member. We should drag Harry out there.
I would love to go. I would love to go.
All right.
I would love to go. Seriously, I would love to go because I want to see the kids play.
Here's the plan. I'll check out the next home game, and the sports web triumvirate of Peter, Harry, and myself will be out there.
Well, that sounds great, and I've been working on that for ages now to get this man out there because I keep on telling him, you're more than a professional handicapper.
It's hard, guys. I mean,
oh, will you shut up and be quiet? Let's go out to Jim here. Stop patting yourself on the back. Jim, what do you got?
Hey, what do you think the Bucs gonna do for the OC coach? They hired ours away, and then I wanted to know, do you think we're gonna get everybody back?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and take that one real quick. That's a great question. Everybody's wish list is going to be Eric Bieniemy or something like that. Definitely don't talk about Todd Monken because Monken can go suck up, you know what? Okay, because that was horrible what he displayed, and everybody's talking about, oh my God, we should get him. Are you kidding me? But in reality, you're going to find another guy like Canales. But who wants to come here right now, ladies and gentlemen, when you don't know the certainty of your quarterback? And when you're losing all these weapons that are around you and the coaching staff, one quarterback might not be feeling as really hunky-dory as you might think. Peter, go for it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Peter, put me in the back room for a second.
Yeah, I'm going to put you in the back room. There we go. Right there. We'll come out to the 2 shot here as I think we've got everything going forward here. Kyle Trask, I continue to say, I just don't know if he is, the coaches are basically telling you that, that quarterback situation isn't that great. And I think Baker Mayfield, again, will have some input into who they hire as an offensive coordinator going forward. And once again, I believe they're going to get a deal done no matter what with Baker, with Mike Evans. In fact, Bruce Arians had something to say about this in care of Joe Bucs fan. We'll get to that in a moment. What else, Jim?
So you think for sure we're going to get Mike Evans back?
Yes.
And that'll probably keep Baker if he comes back.
Yes, I'm absolutely sure that they'll bring everybody back. In fact, that is my lock. That is my prediction for 2024. Mark it down. I've been wrong before. I've been right before. The Bucs are getting everybody signed. All these fans saying the sky is falling. The sky is falling, especially after the Super Bowl. They re-signed all their free agents. The second year, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. They re-signed all their free agents. And then last year, $80 million in the hole. They're not going to re-sign Levante David or Jamel Dean. Guess what? They re-signed them. So I expect Jason Light, Mike Greenberg, Jacqueline Davidson, the brain trust over there at $1. They know exactly what they're doing. They'll get everybody re-signed. That's just me being an eternal optimist. I think it's going to happen because history shows you that it's happened.
And you know what's the nice thing of that, Peter?
Yep.
The league year doesn't start until March, I think. So they don't have to do this tomorrow. They have until March to get under the cap.
Yes, they do. You're absolutely correct about that. Jim, thanks a lot for the call. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I hope I like my intro, Peter Blake. I'm glad you found something for me.
Hey, man, and, here you go. Hold on. I got it. Go and edit.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell is the matter with you?
Jim, I appreciate you. Definitely use that second call if you want to in a little bit. Let me go back out to the phone lines here. Absolutely. Damn it, Jim. Thanks for calling. Let's go out to Ed, Mr. My intro is too long, but that's okay. We love you here, Ed. Welcome to the Sports Web. What do you have to say?
That was a joke, bro.
I know it was a joke.
Oh, I loved it.
I just had to run off of it.
I keep telling him anyway, hey, buddy, you know what this is? This right here is the finest. This is a Monica special. This is unbelievable. Leo knows exact what. You're old enough to remember that?
Let's.
Oh yeah.
Let's.
No, I'm talking about Peter.
Yes.
No, he doesn't remember that.
Of course I remember. You shut up and be quiet, both of you.
Is it Cuban?
Yes, it is. It's a Monica special, baby.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, the last time the Lions won an NFL championship was 1957 or 58.
That's before I was born.
That made me 4 or 5. Anybody else?
No, I wasn't even a thought.
I don't know what I was. I don't think I wasn't around back. I was born in 78, guys. So I was.
In fact, that's still the trivia question that continues on. What NFL team has been in its city the longest that has never been to a Super Bowl? It's still the Detroit Lions.
Name how many teams have actually won not only a Super Bowl, but more than one Super Bowl? Anybody know the answer to that?
Not many.
Yeah.
Any.
Who's won 2 or more? Anybody want to take a stab at it, Peter?
I think there's 5 or 6, Harry, when we get done.
Peter?
2 or more or what? How many?
2 or more Super
Multiple
Bowls.
Super Bowls.
For Steelers.
Well, you got the Steelers.
No, don't have to count them all out. Just throw a number out there. We don't have to elaborate on this.
5 or 6, I would guess.
Yeah, I would think, 5 or 6.
15.
15.
Wow. 15.
Different teams?
15 different teams that won 2. And the Bucs are one of them. And
Yes.
again, they're supposed to be the losingest franchise, which they are. And
That goes to show you how many people watch Fox Sports. I mean,
Yes.
this guy doesn't have that kind of brain for it because that's a plethora of useless knowledge. But I thought I would bring that up.
Very good, very good.
Or Ray would say a plethora. Are you kidding?
Plethora, yeah.
I know. And I kind of laugh.
That's because Ray's having a couple cold ones before he goes on.
Well, he is. I want to go out to our good friend.
Are you kidding me? Ray rolls them fatter than that.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Don't go there. I want to listen. I want to go out to our good friend of the show, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. He also talks about basketball there. USF Wins has won 12 of the last 13. The last time they won 6 conference games in a row was not Seth Greenberg. What was it, Leo?
I think it goes back probably to where Dobras was playing.
Very good. 1992. I remember that team watching it. Wow. 14-5 matches the best start since 1991. Congratulations.
Why does that seem like such a long time to him?
Probably because it is.
It was. All right, Ed, go ahead.
All right. First, foremost, you might want to take a note of this. I'm going to no longer be living in Palm Harbor as of tomorrow.
No Palm Harbor?
Are you moving up to no place really?
Oh, geez.
I'm moving to Palm Coast.
Oh, my God. You're leaving us.
Oh, my gosh. Where's the Palm Coast at?
It's near St. Augustine. It's like an hour south of St. Augustine.
Why is that going on? Why is that happening?
Obviously work.
About that. But, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is it good for you? Are you happy with that?
Yes and no. I got mixed feelings about it.
Okay. Well,
this has been my home basically my whole life, basically. So
then stay.
Yeah,
I can't.
I mean,
it's just as simple as that. Just stay.
Then I'll tell you right now, embrace the new change because it may be good for you. You know, again, change is good, and it goes back to the Bucs coaches here. A lot of Bucs fans out there saying, you know, who are the Bucs going to hire offensive coordinator? Who are the Bucs going to hire as a run coordinator, offensive line coach? And you know what? What I would say is, you know, change may be good for this team. Change needed to be had because this offense, the last couple years, and Harry was screaming at the top of the rooftops about this run offense was terrible. They were not good. The second half of the year, I think Dave Canales and this offense started to show flashes of brilliance, but not nearly enough. And you just have to have trust that Todd Bowles and this coaching staff, they want to improve the offense. So maybe that change is going to be good.
I definitely trust that that Jason Light will get the guys signed. He signed a whole bunch of players, probably more players than he had to this time around.
Right.
After the Super Bowl. And he was able to get that done. So yeah, I trust Jason Light, and I know that Todd Bowles will, you know, give it his all. I don't think he'll get us to the Super Bowl, but maybe he will. Who knows? But the reason why I called in because I want to talk about something that's controversial.
Okay.
Regarding the Super Bowl.
Is it Taylor
Swift? Probably
Swift?
Not going to watch the Super Bowl.
Why? Why, Ed? Why?
Really? I got to hear this.
Super Bowl. All right, go ahead, Ed.
Is it political or religious?
Is it because it's? Please don't be religious or political. But you know, I will go.
No, go ahead. I love it.
It is something political.
Okay. Good. I want to hear it.
Okay.
The Black National Anthem. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of such thing.
Oh, they had it last year.
It's insulting for people who are Americans that they would even say they were going to play something.
He's entitled to his opinion.
Reason.
He's entitled to an opinion, but I really don't understand how it's going to affect anything that you're.
It's not. I kind of understood it too. I had a lot of people DMing me from before. They did it last year for the Super Bowl, or they did it for one of the playoff games when they played the Black National Anthem. And the thing was they didn't do it on TV. They only did it for the stadium, and I didn't understand what the big deal was.
Yeah, I don't understand the big deal
either. The big
either.
deal is that this is nothing but a dividing thing in our country, and it's crap. It's just crap.
That's
all right. The next thing is because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be there, and I'm pretty sure the NFL was really hoping this would happen because of Tyler Swift.
Not Tyler Swift. I think it's Taylor Swift. Tyler would be her brother.
Swift. I'm sorry,
yes.
Taylor Swift.
Yes.
I do not really.
Are you not a Swiftie?
It's your face every time Travis Kelce catches the ball.
Right.
You know what, guys?
Hey, man,
the NFL better figure out.
They made $360 million so far with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, they've got a brand new fan base of all these young girls that are only watching the game because of Taylor Swift. And guess what? NFL.
Just
shut up and
just
be
keep
happy.
them away from particular Tampa Bay Ray players. Will be good.
Oh, geez. Can we not? Can we not?
Hey, man, we went down that rabbit hole. Ed made me do it, right, Ed? Tell him.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Well,
I went down that rabbit hole.
You told me, Peter, that I could come on this show and talk about anything somewhat football related or football related. So
it's football related, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I sure as heck hope that Kelce marries her, because if not, she's not going to have a song. She's going to have an album about this. And Mahomes will be a couple songs in there too. So, hey, Peter, I got to get going. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
Leo, I appreciate the time. You were on a pitch count tonight, but my friend, you came in for relief. You did a great job when I had.
Bring in a left-hander, Harry.
I'm left-handed.
I know. That's what I said.
I'm left-handed, Leo. I mean, I need a righty now.
No. All right, Leo. See you later.
Gotta put it through the ring, Leo.
Hey.
Shut up. We'll work on getting him out there to USF basketball. All right.
Yeah, I'll let you know when the next home game is. Take care, guys.
Sounds good.
Take care, Leo. Be good, brother.
Yeah. So you'll get out there, made man, as you should be out there, USF basketball. So Ed, go ahead. Give me some thoughts here on this coaching and. Give me a thought about this offseason in your opinion.
Well, like Leo was saying, I'm not too hurt that Dave Canellis left and took his staff with him.
Okay.
I couldn't have been better move for the Bucs, really.
Right.
He's speaking the truth.
Right. I'm not saying
he is a man speaking the truth. You see, Ed, I'm agreeing with you now.
I know, right?
Hell froze over, but go ahead.
And like I said, I'm not worried about them getting these players re-signed. They will. They'll figure it out. It'll happen.
I still don't think they're going to sign Mike Evans. I just don't. It's going to be either Mike Evans. I think no. It's not that I'm hoping. No. I don't. I hope he retires a Buccaneer. He deserves it. If anybody deserves it, it's the best offensive player ever to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's Mike Evans. He deserves to retire. Oh yeah, in my heart, honestly, Mike Evans, the best offensive player ever to play in a Tampa Bay uniform. I've never seen anybody like him.
He's the best homegrown. In other words, he was drafted and retired, but the best offensive player probably was Tom Brady.
Really?
But he was a free agent, so you can't really count him.
Yeah, Mike Evans consistently. I mean,
no, man. I hate to tell you this, and again, I'm gonna politely disagree with you that the GOAT at that point of his career, no, he was only a shadow of himself. Let me tell you something. Tom Brady had it made in here with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Gronkowski and Fournette and that running game, and even with the human turnstile on the left side called Donovan Smith. Let me tell you something. They made Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't make this team. I beg to differ with you. He helped it because he got players to come down here. But the best offensive player, in my opinion, and I'd love the fans' reaction to this one, is it Tom Brady or is it Mike Evans? Please post that comment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What do you think, fans out there? Open phone lines after Ed gets off here. 727-255.
That's a good point that he brought up, though.
0391 at 727-255-0391. So I would say to you, Ed, I definitely think Mike Evans is one of the greatest offensive players in Bucs history. I definitely think
the greatest offensive player all time. Besides James Wilder, because he was a Buck. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Love James Wilder. I love Kenny Giles, Kevin House, Doug Williams. I could keep going on and on and on. But for a man to do something that's only been done by Jerry Rice, to even be called the same name as him, let me tell you something. Tom Brady might be the GOAT as a quarterback, but Jerry Rice was the GOAT in the National Football League as being a wide receiver. When you
know what, I agree with that.
And when you bring up Mike Evans' name, even in the same breath, just to say the word Jerry, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. He automatically goes down in my book as the greatest player that Tampa's ever had on offense. And no disrespect, because I was a huge Eric Rett fan and a Jimmy Giles fan.
All right, Ed,
Yeah.
appreciate the call as always. Good luck. Use that second call if you want to. Don't forget about us here on the Evolution. All right, always welcome.
I will definitely be watching the show even over on Palm Coast.
All right,
thanks, buddy.
Sounds good, Ed. Good stuff there, Curtis. What's going on, buddy? We got disconnected. We had tech issues.
Curtis.
Yes.
What's up, Harry?
What's up, brother?
Listen, I can agree. Mike Evans is probably the greatest offensive player ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Tampa Bay history. Fan favorite though was probably Mike Allstott.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Fan favorite, but not the greatest offensive player.
Right there. There's the Allstott jersey.
But fan favorite was probably Mike Allstott.
Right.
Oh yeah, fan favorite. I said the greatest player.
Yeah, greatest offensive player of all time, definitely Mike Evans, James Wilder in that conversation. Tom Brady for you, I don't think he's a Buck all time, but when he was here, the Brady era was pretty tremendous.
We've had this conversation, and I'm going to say it again.
We have.
Thank you, Tom Brady, for another Super Bowl ring. That's all I can say.
Sir.
Okay, all right.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
My question for both of you guys.
Yes,
sir.
Sign Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
Bridge as a bridge quarterback. Drafted.
Okay, go ahead.
And draft a quarterback.
Harry, I'll go with you first because you know how I feel about this. Go ahead, Harry.
No. Everybody knows my feeling. I think they should sign him. I don't know if they're going to have the opportunity to sign him because of the amount of money that he's actually going to command. And now you have the uncertainty of having an offensive coordinator being gone, and they're taking half the staff with them over to Carolina, which is fine. Let's just be really upfront about it. Someone made a really good point about that because the new OC is going to want to bring in his own people. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to be able to listen. I pray they're able to sign Baker Mayfield, but I'm telling you, man, he's gonna command a very, very, very large paycheck.
And here's the thing. I'm sorry, Pete, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
Are you really sold on any of these quarterbacks coming out of the draft?
Yes. Yes. I'll give you a list of them. Drake May out of North Carolina, top 2. Caleb Williams out of USC. The gentleman from the local kid, what's his name? Peter, help me here. Michael Penix Jr. Very good. Forget about Bo Nix. You could take his 50,000 touchdown passes. Well, he stinks. The kid from LSU is really good. And let me tell you something. One of these quarterbacks are going to drop and fall right into their lap. Watch.
And I was going to say, and this Peter, this one is exactly for you. If Penix falls to Tampa, do they take him?
I think you definitely got to consider it.
No, there's not a consideration. They are grabbing him.
Hold on. I think you have to consider it depending on who's on the board, because if there's an edge rusher on the board, say, a Chop Robinson from Penn State, a Jared Verse from Florida State, or an
offensive lineman
or cornerback.
I can respect that, Peter, but in today's league,
I love Penix Jr. though. I love him.
Defensive ends and cornerbacks are a premium nowadays.
Yeah.
Those guys go higher than they should sometimes. So I believe where are we at on the draft board?
26.
Those guys will be gone.
Okay.
I'm telling you, bro, one of these quarterbacks, and it's not going to be Drake May, and it won't be Caleb Williams. But don't be surprised that Penix Jr. or the young man from LSU falls into the bottom of the first round, if not the second round.
Okay, another hypothetical for both of you guys.
Yes.
If Penix falls to Tampa, who would be a good offensive coordinator for him?
Oh God, Eric Bieniemy comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, Cliff
that would be awesome. Let me tell you something. The dream team would be Cliff. Please, Pete. Kingsbury.
Yes, Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury. It's hard to say sometimes. I agree. And I kind of
It's hard to say after drinking this.
Well, I get that. And I kind of wonder what the relationship between Baker and Kingsbury is, because that would be a guy that I'm surprised the Bucs haven't interviewed yet, but they've interviewed Alex Van Pelt.
They're not interested. I just don't think they're interested in them.
No, they may not be. They may not necessarily.
But why Van Pelt, Pete?
Well, because he has experience with play calling with, of course, Aaron Rodgers with the Packers and also Baker Mayfield. And they may want an experienced coordinator because they felt like it was too much of a tough transition with somebody who hasn't called plays before. A lot of people saying Thad Lewis, he knows. And I want to get to the comments from Greg Allman from the JP Peterson show today because we interviewed him. And he had some interesting things to say about Lewis, but Lewis is young, 35, 36 years old, doesn't nearly have the experience that Canales had. And then also you run into the aspect of never calling plays. So that's the reason why they may not want
Canales didn't call him really either.
All I'm going to say is this. This is how I look at it. And I look at it like this.
Right.
If one of those quarterbacks falls to Tampa,
I definitely think you have to consider it. Yes, Michael Penix Jr. would be my pick.
And it doesn't.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you this, Harry. And I want both of you guys' opinion on this. Do you let him sit behind Baker?
Yeah.
Like Jordan Love sat behind Rodgers for a couple of years?
Yeah, but that's not a fair assessment. And I'm not even sold on Jordan Love. I think he caught fire in a bottle. That's for another story. That's for another subject. But let me tell you what. Hold on, man. Let me tell you what a quarterback would learn from one Baker Mayfield. And you want to know what it is? It may not be the best fundamentals of football, but I can assure you of one thing. What Baker can show a young quarterback is hype, determination, gritty, and guts. All day long, want to win at all cost, no matter what. And I'm keeping it 100 when I'm saying this. Baker Mayfield will teach a young quarterback exactly what it takes to have heart, baby. Because if you ain't got heart, his heart's bigger than his abilities. I'm going to be right up front.
I agree 100% because that last year he was in Cleveland and he drug his beat up body just like he did this year to the playoffs, and he beat the Steelers in the playoffs. Nobody expected him to beat the Steelers.
Sure.
Nope.
Nobody that and I got a couple buddies at work. They were trolling me because the Bucs lost to the Lions, and I was like, where's your team at? Wasn't your team already sitting at home? Like, I don't want to hear that. That Lions and Bucs game was closer than it looked. Way closer.
Of course it was.
A couple of bonehead calls, and Tampa Bay's was playing Frisco. It was.
Yep. And it's a turnover situation, and it's the fact also that they didn't blitz enough. And like Harry said in the second half, which I was surprised by, going with zone, I don't think that works to your advantage. And you could see that it
against Detroit it does. And it worked to their advantage in the first half, Pete.
And I told my buddy this. I said, if Todd Bowles would have had a 24-7 lead against San Fran going into halftime, there was no way.
No way.
They would have been attempting field goals from 50-plus yards on every drive.
I mean, they would have, or they would have punted the ball and given their defense a chance.
But guess what, though? He also wouldn't have left any points off the board.
Right.
He would have took every single point.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. Todd Bowles and what's his name, Canales made some bonehead decisions in that Detroit game, and I'm going to give you a couple. I'm going to give you one, and it was in the beginning of the game. It was 3rd and 17 when he threw that pick when Mike Evans had the ball in his hands. He never had to throw that pass. 3rd and 17 at that point in the game, you play, especially on the road.
Yep.
At that point, you want to play field position and punt that football. And I sat right next to Peter. I said, Peter, nothing good other than getting a first down can come out of this. The best thing to do is throw it underneath, a little screen. If you get lucky and get the first down, great. If not, punt the ball. Peter, go ahead and finish it up. Tell them what happened.
Yeah.
Also considering that you probably have one of the best punters in the NFL.
Yeah, what's Jake Camarda? I mean, that's Ray Kennedy's favorite. I mean, Ray Kennedy. Ralph, why do you got two bobbleheads sitting in the showroom?
I don't know what's going on there, Ralph. So, and we're not on until I appreciate Ralph in the back room there. We're not going to go.
There it is. We got one Ralph back there. I like that.
The last thing I'm going to say is this is going to be a very interesting offseason. Not just for the Buccaneers in general.
Yes.
It's going to be a very interesting offseason.
It's going to be an interesting and a very exciting draft. I haven't been this excited for a draft in years.
Well, my prediction is that the Bears are going to trade out of the first pick. Somebody's going to give them a plethora of picks for that pick, and they're going to trade down. And
if they keep Justin Fields, I'm going to make you a prediction here. You ready? They're not going to trade once. They're going to trade twice. They're going to go to number 2, pick up multiple picks in a player, and then if they're really smart, they trade. No, and then you trade to either back to 4, pick up more picks in a player, and you still get Marvin Harrison Jr. But how the hell do you give up on a generational talent with Caleb Williams?
Well,
I'm sorry.
You know what? Remember Detroit drafted Carlos Rogers,
yes,
and Roy Williams,
uh-huh.
and then they went and drafted Calvin Johnson. You do not give up a generational talent.
Well, they drafted Mike Williams too. Remember they drafted
that's
Mike
right.
Williams?
He was a really good player, but he never really panned out, did he, Peter?
No, he was a fat
but
tight end.
Wasn't it like 4 of the 5 years they drafted a receiver in the
wide
top 10?
receivers instead of drafting at the time, and I'm trying DeMarco Ware. They could have had Ware. DeMarcus Ware, and of course they decided to pass on him and go for Mike Williams. Curtis, use that second call. I know you've already called twice here, but that one didn't count. Use the second call. Turnbuckle Talk coming up at 10:30. Appreciate you as always. I want to get out to these comments, and then we will get out to the Thad Lewis question today from the JP Peterson Show. JP asking Greg Allman of Fox Sports, really breaking it down, and I want you to listen to it, but I want to get out to these comments because we haven't really gotten an opportunity to read some of these. Greg says the ageless one. Ben, I'll have the strip club I'm going to on February 14th play your show on the video screens while the ladies do their thing. I appreciate that. Happy Valentine's Day, Sports Web fans. We will be live on that Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah. At the strip club with Mr. One Ben Cornett live
from Las
Vegas.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Make sure it's a long intro. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you.
We want pictures.
You shut up and be quiet.
This guy sucks.
You're right, Peter. Peter wants pictures, not Harry.
No, I know you. Of course you want pictures, but we gotta. It's kind of a family show here. We gotta be good about this. Was Canales
after 10, Pete?
Okay, all right. Was Canales gonna be let go because the offense wasn't that great? I'm not sure about that, but I think they would have made some changes again.
He wasn't let go.
He wasn't let go. He decided to take a promotion.
Right.
He got promoted with a bigger job, but his question was because they didn't re-sign the other coaches, they most likely would have moved on from Harold Goodwin. And
they would have been fired anyway.
Well, they wouldn't be fired. It's been let go. They're not under contract. That's what we find out today from Greg Allman. Let's go out to the tribal troll here.
Acknowledge me.
As he doesn't
my fellow Greek guy.
Any comments here? Roger, welcome to the Evolution. What's on your mind?
Good evening, Father Nelson. I mean, Pete.
I hate you. All right. What do you want?
It's turnbuckle talk almost.
Greek? How are you, sir?
What's up, little brother? I got the ice in the rocks glass.
Very nice.
When are you lighting up Monica?
I'm going to save this for a special night.
All right. Peter, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling better. My voice is getting there. My back is getting better. It's been a rough week for me.
I got the $1 million question for Roger Shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Roger, off the record, hint, hint. How is it like having Peter at the office every day now?
I like it.
Yeah. See?
Okay, I was just curious.
It's competitive this week. It's been different because I had to leave early, and again, my voice wasn't there.
Do you have to buy him his lunch every day too?
No.
I have.
He has bought me lunch, but he doesn't have to. He likes to do it because he's a friend. We're friends. We've been friends.
No, I don't want to see you starve.
Whatever, bro.
Me neither. I understand. You see, I've been. You don't understand, man. I've been talking to my boy on the phone over here, and explaining to him that poor Peter needs to eat. He needs his vegetables. Have you gotten him to eat his vegetables yet?
Jesus.
I offered to get him a vegetable medley for lunch the other day, and he flat turned it down.
Okay. Well, I want everybody to know that this Friday, live on the sports web via a camera phone, Peter Blake, Harry the Greek, and Mr. Roger Shoe will be at Portillo's in St. Pete, where we are going to show you how a proper hot dog is eaten and how we order beef sandwiches from the great city of Chicago, and let Peter understand why we do not put ketchup on a hot dog.
Okay, so that's Friday night. You're saying
this Friday night we're going to Portillo's. You're going to pick up Roger's shoe.
Okay.
I'm going to treat you guys over to Portillo's. And fans of the sports web, please come out to Portillo's. It's going to be a good time. I might even bring the camera equipment. If you get other people out there, I will go ahead and run the hotspot. We'll put the camera equipment out there, and we will make it a thing. We're going to have the over-under on how many hot dogs does it take to make Peter sick. We're not bringing your uncle, though. He can be out of house and home.
A single bite.
I think I'll try it. I will try it, and then I'll probably.
Bro, you'll love a Chicago hot dog. Peter will have one and go, "Oh my God, what is this? This is like heaven."
Can you put cheese on the Chicago hot dog?
Cheese?
Yes.
No.
No, man.
Shut up!
No, you're gonna learn how to eat a beef sandwich, and when you go to a place and you get a beef sandwich from Chicago, you go, "Hey,
need a beef wet.
I need a beef. Dip it, jardinere on the side, hold the sport, sweet on top."
Exactly.
Okay, it's like a cadence in a football game, or you get a Polish and a beef. That's what they call that, Peter, a combo.
Okay.
You can get a sausage and a beef. That's called a what? A combo.
A combo. Okay.
Right, but you don't put cheese on it, Pete.
No cheese on a hot dog.
And I will kill him if he puts ketchup on his beef sandwich. You, Roger?
Yeah, agree 100%. I'll knock it out of his hands on the floor.
Yeah, it's a sin. Even Jesus would get mad at you.
All right, guys. So Friday night we'll definitely meet up.
Got to do it, man. We got to do it.
We'll do it. All right, Roger.
Seriously, I'm bringing the camera equipment. I'm bringing the soundboard. We will set it up live from Tyrone Mall here in St. Petersburg at Portillo's Restaurant. We're going to run it live on the sports web, and we are going to show the world.
We got to let Peter try the chocolate cake.
Oh, they got the best chocolate cake.
And they got shakes too, don't they?
The best shakes, Pete.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I need to catch up on my eating here because I've been sick lately.
And the strawberry shortcake's really good.
Wow.
And the hamburgers, forget it, they're to die for.
The hamburgers are freaking. Oh my God!
You know what the best part about it, guys, is I get to go out there with Roger and Harry, of course, and Harry's gonna pay for it. So it's.
Yeah, Harry's always gonna pay for it.
Oh,
here comes the money.
All right, Roger. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you, boss.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right, good stuff.
See you, Roger. Take care.
All right, let's read these comments here. Yes. So to answer that question, I don't think he was going to be let go. He got a promotion, guys. He had to take it. I understand.
Surprising promotion.
Well, but they hired Dan Morgan, who was familiar with him, and that's what it's all about. It's like me getting a coaching job and saying, you know what? I know Harry for so many years. I'm going to hire that guy. Maybe he's not the most experienced, but I just feel comfortable with him on my staff. So
I'm telling you right now, man.
I would do it.
They're going to start the season probably 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the season, Carolina will have 5 wins.
Wow.
It's just.
Well, it'd be an improvement over what they did last year, right? I mean, the owner's going to have to at least give Canales and staff 3 or 4 years.
Buddy, let me tell you something. If they don't do something with Bryce Young this year, oh my God.
All right.
If I was Canales, I never would have taken it.
Yeah, well.
But you have to, man. He's making them benchies.
That's it. And then you make that money. And then on top of it, if you do get fired, which I hope Canales doesn't, because I met the man personally. I talked to him for about 10, 15 minutes, had a good conversation about offense, try to get him on the sports web during the time here with the Bucs. I actually reached out to him, congratulated him on the new head coaching job. And we'll see in the future we can get him on. But
we got another call coming in.
We do. Let's go out to Ed using his second call. Welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
I want to ask the Swami a couple of questions here.
All right, ask him.
Can you see? Is that better, Ed?
It's funny. No, that is better. But anyways, now you totally messed up my train of thought.
Well, did you know that they made the Star Spangled Banner and they named it after a Spanish blind kid?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's Jose. Can you see? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an idiot. You're a real idiot.
Swami's always right.
You're a real idiot on that. All right, Ed. So what was your question you want to ask here?
Okay, a couple of questions here.
Yes.
One, what is Harry think is going to be the new offensive coordinator?
Who do you think is going to be the new offensive coordinator, Harry?
You know what? I think they're going to bring in someone like they did from Canales. Everybody has their wish list. Please don't say Munkin. The guy sucks. Okay.
Well,
the gentleman that he stinks.
Wait a
he
minute.
stinks. I'd love to see Eric Bieniemy be here in Tampa. I don't know who they're going to bring in because I'll tell you what, I didn't even know that David Canales even existed, and Tampa found him through the depths of hell somewhere. Okay, and he was buried in Seattle as a quarterback coach.
Depths of hell.
Okay, I mean, come on, let's be real.
Everything he said so far is right. He's right about that.
And it's true.
You can find it from the depths of hell.
Who's going to be the new offensive coordinator?
I think it's going to be Alex Van Pelt. I think that's what
I hope it's not Alex Van Pelt, and I sure as hell hope it's not the guy that the Chicago Bears fired because he worked with Aaron Rodgers. He stucks too. Okay, but I would love to see Eric Bieniemy on the sidelines with this team because you know what? He could possibly be your next head coach as well.
Well, do the Commanders even have a head coach at this point?
Do they even have a quarterback? I mean,
that's a great question.
Go out there and go get him. I mean, why wouldn't he want to take another lateral move to a team that actually has not one but two really good wide receivers?
I agree.
I guarantee you, if he was to come to Tampa, one Baker Mayfield would stay in Tampa for sure.
Yeah, I think he's still going to stay in Tampa any way it goes, and I think Baker will.
Who do you think it's going to be, Ed?
Yeah.
I'm with Peter. I think there's a good chance it's going to be Alex because they've already interviewed him twice.
He sucks.
They've shown a lot of interest in him. Hey, I'm not saying he's great or he's good or he sucks. I'm just reading the writing. I'm reading the writing on the wall.
Yeah, I understand.
I think they want to go with the veteran presence over somebody who's unproven. If they were going to go with unproven,
that's what we said last year too, Pete. Remember?
Well, I mean, you're absolutely correct about that. But maybe they don't go with the unproven. Maybe they go with that.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are interviewing Canales, and we're all looking on the sports web going,
"What?
Who's Canales? Who's Canales? Oh wow, Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, he's great.
Well,
he's great." And then of course, I come on and going, "Hey guys, you realize that was the 12th interview that this team had for the season? I mean, they were kind of getting into desperation mode. And then, as usual, they dug something down in the ground and they went, holy shit, we found some diamonds in here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Now he's a head coach over in Carolina. Have fun with that, Carolina.
Yeah, we'll see how that works
I really love this. I really love the next question is who's going to win the division next year, Harry?
Tampa. It wouldn't even be short. Atlanta, they're in shambles. Carolina's going to start out the season 4-2 and win maybe their 5th ball game by the end of the year. They're going to stink. Tampa wins it by default again. I mean, give me a break. This is horrible. And New Orleans Saints, they made an $80 million mistake, and I don't even know how much the guy is making. But I told everybody that Carr sucks. He has no shoulder to throw it over to his legs. He's horrible. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I'm the announcer.
This guy sucks.
All right, there you go. All right, Ed, appreciate the call. Thank you very much for it.
Take care.
Love you, Ed, man. Take care.
Love you, brother. All right, let's go back out to these comments here.
Look, the Greek's got a back scratcher. Back scratcher.
All right.
Back scratcher.
Are they sure Baker's going to re-sign with the Buccaneers, and can they even afford him? Mike Evans needs a new contract, or they're going to let him walk.
Might not have a choice.
Keith Robbins Jr. says, what happened? We had some tech issues. Okay, this is longer than the intro. That's okay. Peter disappeared. Absolutely. Keith says, Robert Duran, I feel like they can sign everybody if they're all in.
Without question.
Roger Shue says, hi, Greek.
What's up, brother?
Let's go out to Byron Moore. I feel like we're losing Mike.
Possibly.
Houston, they have the money to pull him home. Possibility. Always take the points. Robert says they thought they had the game in the bag and they underestimated Purdy and his legs, which I didn't even know he had legs. I mean, talk about that game up 24-7. Purdy makes some plays in that second half, especially with his legs.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
That was insight.
That was good. Thank you. Samuel.
You like that, huh?
I love that. Go Bucs, thinking of getting season tickets for next season. Let's go. Let's go. Christopher Cole got to tie up the score with 7 minutes left. Robert again. San Francisco won that game on Purdy's legs. Crucial plays in the third and fourth quarter was the reason San Francisco won that game. And then
so it didn't have anything to do with the bonehead shit calls that Detroit made for going for it on 4th down instead of taking, I don't know, field goals?
Yeah, it definitely had something to do
Just
with that.
saying. Just saying.
Yeah, and it also had to do with wide receivers dropping critical passes over and over again, namely
No,
Reynolds, wide receiver.
You're going to have drop passes in the game, and you can blame a lot of things, but you cannot get by the elephant in the room, baby, because it's
Yeah.
sitting right in front of you.
Yep.
Are you nuts? Especially the last field goal. Are you nuts? You
Ravens
don't tie
forgot-
the game?
Yep. Ravens forgot to run the ball. You're absolutely right. Throwing the ball 37 times, forgetting their running attack. I didn't understand that. What happened to Peter Blake? I'm here. Baltimore plays a high school offense. It'll never win a big game. Agree with that? I mean, because I think Todd Monken overall did a good job.
Lamar did a great job in that game too, right, Pete?
Not in that game, no.
Oh, okay, good.
But for the whole season, I just didn't understand the game plan versus Kansas City.
I got the game plan. Let's make a quarterback do what he's not really, really accustomed to doing. Well, hang on. He proved me wrong. He can pocket pass, but hang on. He has to make the defense respect his run game first, and then he can sit in the pocket. Nah, Monken wanted to make him a pocket passer and see if he could go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. Got a question for you, Monken. How'd that work out for you?
Nah, not so well. And then on top of it, critical plays there by Zay Flowers for taunting, which you could have called it on Kansas City, and he didn't. And the critical fumble there.
And holding. There was a lot of variables there.
Stuff there. Let's see here. Jim Sutton, technical difficulties. We're back. The Buccaneers need to get offensive coordinator. Again, 5 days into the process. Just relax. Heck, Washington doesn't even have a head coach yet. Keith and Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Seahawks coach taking over for Pete Carroll, which is a round of applause for Harry and Leo. Absolutely. Christopher Cole, it's the same thing this offseason. I guess Ed's calling back. I don't know. Ed, what's up?
3 phone calls? I like this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I hate to tell you this. The Valentine's Day isn't until the 14th.
I know. It's on Wednesday. I know. It's a couple weeks from now. We're going to be going live. We'll be live.
All right.
I
just thought I'd remind you that.
Are you ready? That's okay. I know what day it is. I know it's, not tonight. It's not next week. It's a couple weeks from now. And
Ralph, where the hell are you, Ralph?
You shut up.
Hold on. He's got a comment at the bottom says, I'm all in. Where were you at? You're all in what?
Well, he'll be in here about 10:30.
I don't want to know what you're all in about, though.
Jeez. All right, Ed, thanks a lot for the call. Yes, I'm reminded again, if you didn't catch the announcement, the Sports Web will be live for all the single people out there, whether you're a man, a woman that loves sports. We'll be live here on February 14th for Valentine's Day, a special edition for Tampa Bay sports fans. I love you guys.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
Bucs.
Thankful and love for.
No, we're going to talk about the Bucs, and we're going to talk about wrestling that night, and you probably won't be. So, because
it's Valentine's Day. You want to know something? My wife hates that day. She says it's nothing, but it's a Hallmark holiday.
Hallmark holiday. Yeah. What do you get?
The best wife in the world, bro.
I know you do.
It's a Hallmark holiday. What
do you get your wife for Valentine's Day any way it goes? Because she could say that, but
if I bought my wife something for Valentine's Day, she'd shoot me.
Really?
Yeah. She would shoot me. Shoot me.
Okay.
She's like, after Valentine's Day. You want to do something, do it after. She goes,
what do you do after Valentine's Day? What do you do after Valentine's Day?
Whatever she wants. I shower in diamonds and gold all the time.
Damn, man. I got to be like you when I grow up. Nice cigar, Harry.
The Monica special.
Oh, God. My mom wasn't even born yet in 1957. Paul, it's very divisive. Robert, Mike Alstott had highlights reel, but none of them can match except maybe Brady. Okay. Carl says Evans by far. Tim, Brady doesn't even make the 2 best offensive players in Tampa Bay. Tulio.
Amen.
Definitely Evans over Tom Brady.
Cha-ching.
Yep, absolutely. Jim says, what about Mike Alstott? We talked about it. Tulio, the issue with bringing Baker as a bridge quarterback is that Bowles doesn't develop young quarterbacks. So the Bucs would need someone to help with that, can be here long term. And again, I go back to Alex Van Pelt was saying that because he does have experience with Baker, and I definitely think that they'll be comfortable together. And then you go back to Thad Lewis. So with that being said, let me put you in the lobby really quick. I'm going to go out to the JP Peterson show. And JP asked the question to Greg Auman of Fox Sports about Thad Lewis and the prospect of him being the next offensive coordinator of the Bucs. And Bucs fans, go ahead and pay attention to what he has to say, because it's very interesting here on the evolution of sports talk television. Enjoy.
Your take on Thad Lewis? Interviewed him in the press conference setting a few times. Haven't had a lot of personal conversations with him. Obviously, he's extremely well regarded, well thought of within the organization by the players and the administration. You've had some dealings with him. What are your thoughts on his chances, and would he be good?
Yeah, I mean, Thad's a great up-and-coming assistant. I mean, literally, this is his 4th year, was an intern in 20, the Super Bowl year, was their assistant receivers coach in 21, 22, and then got promoted to quarterbacks coach this past season. He's 36. I wrote on him, I think it was when he came in as an intern in 2020. I sat down with him and basically talked to him. I mean, Thad's one of those types. A lot of your NFL, just like in baseball, a lot of your best managers are catchers. In the NFL, a lot of your best coaches are backup quarterbacks.
Yes.
You know, it's like the star quarterbacks can either kind of do the TV thing or just retire. But your backups, your Doug Petersons and Frank Reichs and all these types, were in NFL offenses and knew how they ran, worked with great teams. And the cool thing about that, Thad was a very unmemorable NFL quarterback. He literally played for 2 teams, but he was with like 9.
Right.
And as a result, he got to, spend time with all kinds of different NFL minds. Chip Kelly, you name it. I ran through them, and it's kind of like, what did you learn from each coach you had?
That's fascinating.
In NFL. And it's like, well, this guy taught me about how, you work in the red zone. This guy taught me about meshing the run and the pass. And it's neat in that you have this 36-year-old who has a wealth of experience. If you're a backup quarterback, even if you're only there spring, summer, training camp, practice squad, you're in the same meeting rooms. You're learning from everybody in the room. And I think there's a value in that. So the tricky thing with that is that Thad's never never been a coordinator, never called plays. So you're taking the same leap you did with Dave Canales a year ago. There would certainly be continuity if your priority is trying to give Baker Mayfield a situation he wants to come back to. And I think it's a big part of what they want. Thad would do that. Thad worked as closely with Baker as Dave Canales did.
Exactly.
So in terms of if your goal is to run it back, if your goal is to get Baker back, and if that helps get Mike back, that would be a step toward that. Again, it might be that they don't think he's ready. I mean, Dave Canales had been in the NFL for 14 years. Thad Lewis has essentially done it for 4 as a coach. So there's not nearly the same level of professional institutional experience. That doesn't mean he can't do it. It just means it's probably even more of a leap from an experience standpoint than it was a year ago when they gave Canales the job.
All right, welcome back to the evolution of sports talk television here as I'm trying to come back. I don't know what's going on here, so stand by. Okay, there we go. We're back. Boy, oh boy. Tech tonight is just abandoning me. It's abandoning me here.
Abandoning.
Yes, I can't even say it at this point. I'm so
abandoning.
Abandoning me. Yes.
Abandoning. That's what he said.
Abandoning me.
That's okay.
Yes.
Peter, I'd love to hang out. It's 10:25. I see my boy Ralphie sitting down there in the cheap seats getting ready to come on with you.
Yeah, we got 5 more minutes until Turnbuckle talks.
All right, I'll hang out.
Hang out. We're going to read. But going back to it, Thad Lewis, Greg Allman and his comments, I mean, very interesting. He's been on 9 teams, different coaches. You keep the continuity, but again, you're taking more of a leap with him than you did with Canales. Could you see Bowles doing that, or do you feel like you go with the veteran guy like an Alex Van Pelt or some of the guys that we've talked about at the end of the day?
I don't know, Pete. I've just got to be honest with you. I really don't know. If I had a wish list, it would be. Why is my brain just fart?
Cliff Kingsbury and Eric.
Cliff Kingsbury and Eric Bieniemy. I mean, it's just far short of that. They're proven.
Yeah.
I'm not a Van Pelt kind of guy. I'm just not.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. We'll read the rest of these comments and then we'll get you out of here. Baker Mayfield is a baller. I completely agree with you. Christopher Cole, Van Pelt called the entire Steelers when Baker had his first playoff win. Absolutely. Recon Scout watching the show on delay. Mike Evans. Okay, I don't know why you're watching on delay, but thank you very much for watching. Frank G says, I want Clint Kubiak. They interviewed him last year. Haven't really seen a lot.
Interesting.
Clint Kubiak, of course, the son, I believe, of Gary Kubiak with the offensive zone. And of course, Ralph Williams says he is all in. Now, your favorite coach, Bruce Arians, was asked by the Ira Kaufman podcast on Joe Bucs Fan about Bucs free agency, as he is still a senior advisor on this team. And he says about free agency, I don't think we're losing any of them. Mike wants to stay here. They're going to pay him. I think Mayfield loves it here. It's totally appreciative of the opportunity he found in Tampa. He loves the guys, and the guys love him. Your thoughts on the possibility of, once again, every fan out there saying, or every pundit saying, that the sky is falling, that the Bucs can't afford these guys, that once again they re-sign everybody?
They're not going to be able to re-sign everybody.
Who do you think is most likely not to be re-signed, in your opinion?
Baker.
Really?
Yeah, because of the fact that he's going to command. I mean, listen, I'm hoping that they're able to retain Baker and Mike Evans, but they're just not going to be able to. They just can't this time. They just can't. Baker's going to command too much money, and Mike Evans, in my opinion, deserves to be here more than Baker Mayfield.
I think they both work together, and once again, I think Baker Mayfield will take less money in order to keep Mike Evans here. That's
and
what
here we are wishing. You got nothing in one hand and shit in the other. What do you got when you at the end of the day? Nothing.
I don't think it's wishing. I think 30 to 35 million will get it done. And I even said,
how much?
30 to 35.
Okay. It's about, again, I have to remind the people, and including yourself out there, that's 20 million more than what you thought he might get.
Well, I said at the time, I said maybe 25, and I was thinking Geno Smith, and they still may get him, with 3 to 75.
But it's okay, Pete. It is okay. And I just like to pound my chest to things like this, because I said he was going to command a minimum of $35 million a year, possibly more. And I was saying this in week, 12?
Yeah.
I says this team would win a division. Mm-hmm. They're going to win a playoff game, and then hold on to your jock straps, because boy, oh boy, is that guy going to get paid.
And now he's a Pro Bowler, by the way. So congratulations to Baker Mayfield.
As a Pro Bowler, doesn't he get to go play flag football with the guys?
I guess. And Mike Evans, he decided not to.
Can you blame him? I mean, give me a break.
No, I can't. I think a lot of people were looking into that, saying the reason why Mike Evans dropped out of the Pro Bowl is because he didn't want to answer any questions about that situation. And
that's not.
It was it's for an injury.
It's an injury. He's honored to be part of the Pro Bowl, but.
Sure.
It is what it is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having me on today.
Yes.
I'm going to let you guys get to talking to the two best that are around, Mr. Ralph Williams and Mark Mancini. The Mancini brothers are coming up to talk about Dick the Bruiser and whatever the hell happened in here
Royal
in Tampa.
Rumble recap and
I'd rather shoot heroin in my eyes than sit there and watch wrestling on TV. But you know what? I would love to go to some kind of Royal Anus Rumble, whatever you call it. The Royal Rumble. I think that would be a lot of fun. I see Ralph cracking up in the back room.
You're such an idiot. Okay. You really are with that Royal whatever. That's
I get the Royal Rumble every time I eat cheese without taking a lactate pill.
You talking about cheese and can't have it on a hot dog. You need to stay away from cheese if your stomach is getting like that. Seriously.
It's the Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, Royal Rumble this. Get your ass out of here. Harry the Greek, go ahead.
I'm Harry the Greek. Always keep your bets low and your returns high. Stay tuned. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a lot of fun. You got the Mancini brothers coming up out here. My boy Ralph, my boy Mark. They're awesome. Don't worry about Pete and his tech. He's got Harry the Greek. He helps him out all the time. Hey, get your bets in this week and before the Super Bowl happens, because right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are a road favorite at 2.5 points. Ladies and gentlemen, you know about the 88%. I'm sorry, not the Kansas City Chiefs. The 49ers are road favorites at 2.5 point favorites. And you know what that 88% rule means? Play the home team, even though it's not their home turf. Take the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm giving it to you as an early pick on the money line.
I'm
Harry the Greek. Keep your bets low and your returns high. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for having me on. Ralph, Mark, you know what? Let me go ahead and make myself small. You guys got to come in real quick. I'm sorry, Peter. I can't help myself. I got to say hello to my boys. What's going on, gentlemen?
Well, first of all, I don't know what's worse hearing. Is the Bears suck or I got to hear this Travis Kelsey, that guy that looks like Duck Dynasty, his brother, and Cleveland sucks, so feel the Pittsburgh lumber. I don't know what these guys, a 15-minute car chase like the Chicago Bears. How are you, Harry?
Mancini, what are you doing, brother? I wish I was you taking pictures, dropping dimes with all the pretty ones out there on the basketball courts, man. I'll tell you what, bro, I get some of those pictures. I'm like, my tongue's like dragging the ground. My wife's going, here, put it back in your mouth. I'm like, hell no. Did you see what he just put out here? I'm looking at it all day long. Ralph, I'll see you next week. I'm going to be part of RW Media. We're going to go ahead and have a really good time and some good interviews. And I promise I'll keep it PG-13.
All right, PG-13 for Harry the Greek. That'll be something new. Appreciate it as always, my friend right there. Get out of here. All right, guys, Turnbuckle Talk. Let's do it. WWE recap of the Royal Rumble, which, by the way, I said I wasn't going to get a chance to go to, but my good friend JC Allen, of course, of Sports Illustrated, got me an extra ticket because his little son didn't want to go. So I went out there. I watched it. It was an amazing pay-per-view. Mr. Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer. Go ahead and give me your general thoughts of the Royal Rumble last Saturday night. Welcome to
First of all, I'm kind of glad you went. I was thinking about you, but good things happen to great people like yourself, and somebody always does a good favor like that. I remember it real fast. I needed the All-Star game off my bucket list, and Bill North dropped me about a $1,200 ticket to see that game a couple of years ago in Los Angeles. So I know how that feeling is when you're not expecting and all of a sudden it comes through. That's just blessings, man. Yeah, I thought it was good. The CM Punk thing, they're holding him off with the injury. So we'll see how that goes. But I keep telling everybody, nobody wants to listen to me. The bloodline is running rampant here, man. They're just taking out everybody. And, Roman Reigns is going to go down and he's going to keep holding that belt because once they pin him, the ratings on SmackDown will go down.
Well, and I disagree with you because Cody Rhodes, of course, is the winner of the Royal Rumble. I thought it was going to be CM Punk. It was the final two there, Ralph. I thought they put on a good match. And for people saying, CM Punk is washed up, he had a torn tricep. This is how tough this man is. And he went the last 12 to 15 minutes with Cody Rhodes putting on a show there. Of course, eventually Cody eliminated CM Punk as Punk was trying to go for the leg. Leg was grabbed, thrown over the top rope there. So your thoughts on not only the Royal Rumble itself, but CM Punk fighting through a major injury there in a torn triceps. And he is silent. That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he disappeared there. That wasn't good. Where are you at, Ralph?
There he
is. Boom. Can we hear you, Ralph?
And he's trying to join. He's trying to get in the Rumble.
Yeah, I can't hear him, so he's got to come back in. So we'll remove him out of there. Can't hear your sound. Hopefully it works out. We'll get you. We'll try to get you back in there. But that was the big news. Beforehand, though, I don't want to skip on this because this was a really uncomfortable conversation. The reports came out about Thursday or Friday when we were off air. Vince McMahon, and listen, I'm not going to go through all the allegations that were out there with Janelle Grant, but accusations of trafficking, sex trafficking with not only him but John Laurinaitis. And, of course, you've got Brock Lesnar involved because Lesnar was supposed to come back for the Royal Rumble. Just horrific. Of course, he was let go. TKO came out and said he's not a part of the day-to-day operations. They're trying to stay away from it. I mean, and now you have Netflix coming out, which, of course, acquired the rights to WWE Raw with a Vince McMahon documentary, I guess it is, following the unsettling allegations with Janelle Grant. I mean, just overall, just a black eye for WWE and just storm clouds, if you will, over Titan Towers, right?
Well, first of all, I've always said this: when you're making that kind of money, Peter, and you're into that kind of thing, and I saw it with XPW and everything and all that, different things going on and everything. If I get that kind of money I'm making and that's my thing, I'm buying myself a hooker every night. because then all bets are off. Nobody's going to be coming back at you and all that. But these guys are trying to get sexual favors for championship belts and everything. And it's just, come on, man. You know that crap is going to come around. Really.
Yeah.
Are we that stupid enough to believe that this ain't going to come around the minute that girl gets dumped or something? And, it's unfortunate, but these guys, they're not thinking with their right head. They really aren't. And because if you're making that kind of money, go buy yourself a hooker. Then if somebody comes after you, hey, I paid for it. This wasn't a $5 martini. I have nothing to comment about. And that's what I would do. I'm serious. You know me.
Yeah, I just it's not a good situation. The statement comes a few days after former WWE employee Janelle Grant filed a lawsuit claiming that she experienced physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking while working at the company. Among her claims in the court document, she alleged that McMahon pushed her for physical relationship in exchange for her employment at WWE, and that he had recruited Laurinaitis to have sexual relations with her as well. The woman said she was let go from the company after McMahon's wife found out about the relationship in January of 2022, and he had her sign an NDA in exchange for payments. However, after her employment was terminated, she claimed in the complaint that he still tried to traffic her to a WWE star, which turned out to be Brock Lesnar. Some horrific allegations, some sick stuff out there that just, it should not. But are we really surprised by Vince McMahon? Because we heard this, about 6 months ago, how he had sexual relations with, women on the side and was paying them off. Let me go out to Ralph Williams. I think we got the sound corrected. Mr. Ralph Williams, what did you think of the Vince McMahon allegations coming out about Thursday and Friday there?
I think the woman's a gold digger. I mean, you got all of a sudden now, we're going into 2024, and all of a sudden this lady comes forward and says, look what happened here. There's women out there that do these kind of things to people who have money, and it's sad.
Yeah, I'm not ready to say she's a gold digger. Did she receive gifts? Are the allegations? Absolutely. But there are a lot of, heinous acts.
Heinous, yes.
There's a lot of proof there. And again, I'm not surprised that Vince McMahon did any of this, because he's been doing this stuff all throughout his career.
And gotten away with it.
And it's not just him. It's, other wrestlers. It's, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. There was questions about the death of his girlfriend, Nancy Argentino, in 1983, where he was finally convicted in 2015, being Snuka. Was removed from the WWE Hall of Fame, but at the time, Vince was covering for him. There's so many incidents with Vince McMahon that I'm just glad that he's left the business, that Triple H is taking over, that they have all this success. And Triple H was approached about it, and he was asked about it, and he did the right thing, because a lot of people wanted him to speak on it, and he can't, because there's a lawsuit going on. There's not much he can say. And he was trying to focus on the positive. And now you actually have people out there trying to get Triple H fired. And it's like, I understand their allegations and they're bad. I just don't know what Triple H could do. He was talking about the positives of the Royal Rumble on the post conference. He was talking about all the great things that are happening with Netflix and all the money they're getting. He's trying to keep a positive in somebody. And I get it. As a journalist, as a wrestling journalist, when you get that credential, when you get that cred, you've got to ask those tough questions. I just don't know what you expect Triple H to say. Is that fair?
Well, not only that, and to flip that, what about Patrick Mahomes' brother? I mean, isn't that the same thing? What's going on with that situation? Did you hear about that situation?
Well, he was, I believe he was found innocent, or he was not on charges or something along the lines.
Well, and we've seen it with Trevor Bauer charged. So, I mean, Are we creating gray areas in these businesses for certain people in a higher status, more so than others? I mean, Vince McMahon was guilty of this years and years ago too, of having these problems, and yet we kept buying the Kool-Aid on this guy.
Right, because he's Vince McMahon, and he created this business that we love to watch and we talk about here on a Wednesday night on Turnbuckle Talk. It's the Sports Web. I'm here with Peter Blake, along with former XPW announcer Mr. Mark Mancini, and the bodyguard of the Berg, Pittsburgh's newest radio personality, and Ralph Williams. This is what Dave Meltzer had to say about the Netflix documentary that's going to come out about Vince McMahon, which will be must-see TV at the end of the day. And you kind of wonder, with them acquiring the rights, how in depth are they going to go with about McMahon? And this is what he had to say. So this is what I could say about the Vince McMahon documentary. And of course, this is all subject to change, because when this documentary started, ordered by Netflix years and years ago, obviously there was not the end result of that anyone imagined. It was going to be something that they did, and Vince told them that he does not want a fake documentary. And Vince was probably the most interesting interview on the documentary. I don't know all the different people they talked to. I only know what I talked about, and they were told this was anything but meant to be a pup piece. And if it ends up being perhaps much of the documentary, it's a multi-part. Several of the parts were already done. The only stuff that was left to be done was the stuff that would have covered the period from Vince forcing himself back in the cell. Everything else was done. They were done with the scandal with Vince retiring, quitting, whatever, forced out, whatever they deal was last year, or actually 2022. So work 2023. Actually, sorry, but that stuff was all done. Now, can they go back and clean it up? Of course they can. And I guess when the finished product comes out, well, no, I don't anticipate it, because it didn't feel like Vince actually wanted that, believe it or not. I could say 100% because I know what they were aiming for. This could change. Politics do get in the way of documentaries, that's for sure. I don't expect it. I'll just say
well,
that.
let me ask you something, guys. How do you rob 5 banks and portray yourself as a good citizen?
That's a good one.
You're rich. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Celebrity privilege. And I think Vince has gotten away with this for the last 30 to 35 years.
That's because he's rich. That's why, like you said,
That's
Peter.
it. He's one of the most powerful figures in the world.
Figures in the world, yeah.
A billionaire.
I think he got more money than Donald Trump.
Probably does. But
it's sad. It's sad when you look at it like that. I mean, it really is. I mean, here Michael Jackson was suffering from something, and people were taking his money instead of trying to help the guy, and he would have been living today.
Yeah, and it's like, some of these strange things that Vince is doing is just, it's ridiculous. Like he should have never had a job. He should have been removed right away. He should have never been able to force himself back into WWE. So well, the positive thing is that you're not going to have to deal with this. But what I'm wondering is how many parties knew about that in the office. I think that's the reason why. And this is just rumor being thrown out. That's the reason why his daughter.
Maybe there was hush money thrown out, Peter.
Well,
maybe they were paid not to say anything.
Well,
that could be the case.
Not only that, okay.
Or their job was threatened.
Yeah, Ralph and Peter, you bring up interesting things, but here's the thing: if I'm in that company and there's hush money being thrown around or whatever, wouldn't somebody have enough brains to say, hey, we might as well move Hooters into Stamford, Connecticut here. Just put them in the backyard for Vince McMahon's playground here.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, couldn't somebody think with all the money they were making, let's help Vince out if this is a serious problem? We all have an
I want to know where the stockholders were and the board of directors were in all this. Yeah. That's what I want to know. Because, there were stockholders involved until now. I mean,
probably buying another suit.
Well, and I will say this, the rumor is the reason why Shane McMahon left the company is because he knew about the nefarious things, a Leo word, that Vince was participating in, and Vince wanted him to also participate in that. That's the reason why his daughter and, somewhat Triple H decided to leave the company there for a little bit, because they kind of knew some of this stuff was going on, and they knew at the end of the day they couldn't do anything about it. But that's the thing right now. Like, who knew about it? Why didn't they say something? Of course, it's easy to say, well, they didn't say nothing because they wanted to keep their job, but all this is wrong. Like,
well, who stayed in the background at all this is Linda McMahon. Yeah. She ran for politics and stayed out of this. She's been out of it too, out of the loop.
Right.
But all those people that Vince has built over the years and known, not one guy had enough sense to say, you know what, this is wrong. Maybe just give him a 365-day a week woman, or I don't know, but The guy has a problem. If a guy has a drug problem, what are you going to do? Let him keep taking drugs? You're going to try to reel him in?
No, of course not. You're not going to do
the
that.
same thing with alcohol. You're going to reel him in and put him in a detox center.
Right.
So if the guy has a sexual addiction, let him run around a nude beach with 80-year-olds. I don't know.
That's not
You sound like John from the podcast.
Yeah, that's just not a good look, and that's not a good way. And
oh, nudist colonies, man.
For him to be a part of the wrestling business with again some of the things that he did, whether they're allegations or not, is just ridiculous at the end of the day. Now, Nikki and Brie Bella or Garcia had this to say. Of course, the Bella twins there used to be with WWE. We are shocked and disheartened with the recent allegations against the members of WWE. They said on their Instagram post, it's been a lot to process since we find out this past week. Just as you all did, this is something we don't stand for or condone from anyone, no matter who they are. The sisters are the stepdaughters to Laurinaitis. We want all women to feel safe and supported in the workplace and in their everyday lives. So lots of things coming out right now. Again, they're all allegations, but if you read the text messages, if you read through the reports, and again, I'm not going to go through them specifically because it's ridiculous. It's disgusting.
It's sad.
It's sick.
Really is.
And the guy needs to be, if he did all these things, he needs to be in prison. And anybody else who was involved in this needs to be in prison. And again,
Laurinaitis, if Laurinaitis knew about it, he should be in there too.
I see where you're coming from, Ralph, was saying she's a gold digger because she took gifts. But still, if she felt violated, her job was
to speak up. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, but you got to watch some of these women out here, Peter. Some of them, when they take these people to court like this that got all kinds of money, they could be a gold digger. I mean, that's
Well, everything again. It's
but you should be able to pick that up. If you know they're a gold digger, pull into the Shake Shack.
Well,
it's not going to cost you a lot.
Guys, innocent. Listen, shut up. Innocent until proven guilty. Let's get back to the Royal Rumble. Right. Cody Rhodes gets to finish his story. Of course, they kind of threw a wrench in this the other night.
Story?
Well, the story against Roman Reigns, which he'll eventually win the title from Reigns, like everybody wants him to do with winning the Royal Rumble. First and foremost, let me ask you, Mark, were you surprised by that result, or did you think CM Punk was going to win?
No, I'm going to stick to what I said. I said I had CM Punk. CM Punk came up short, but they said he's going to finish his story. And I'm saying, what story? Because Seth Rollins is trying to pull him away from Roman Reigns. So there's not going to be a story being settled at WrestleMania, and I'll bet my last dollar on it.
Well, I think
The Rock, and he will not go against Reigns. I thought he was going to go against CM Punk, but it doesn't look like it. So I don't know. It could be against Rollins.
You're going to lose your last dollar on this, my friend, because they are going to go with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. That is the story. And I understand where Rollins is coming from. A great promo, because he kind of sold me on it too. And it'll be a great match, even though Rollins also has his own injury issues with his knee, with the MCL. So you don't know how effective he's going to be. Yeah, I think that's going to work out to be Gunther is going to be the guy that takes the belt off of him. It's going to be a good match. Rollins is going to do everything he can, but he's going to be limited. And I think Cody is going to take on Roman Reigns. Yes. Point, Ralph?
Yeah, it's going to be Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and then it's going to be Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the title, and LA Knight's going to beat him. And then I think Gunther's going to be involved in either the Seth Rollins match, or that could be, if CM Punk comes back from his injury, I'm hearing a triple threat match right there.
Yeah, he's not going to come back. It's going to be a 4 to 6 month injury. Of course, he did a promo the other night. We'll get back to you in a moment.
Right, I know that, yeah.
He's a Cubs fan. There's always next year. It's not hard.
First of all, let me answer the question on Gunther. Gunther winning the belt in Philadelphia is almost out of sight, out of mind. Is me walking around Ireland and trying to fit in. No knock on that, but it just ain't going to happen. And as far as, a story being finished here, if you want to sell WrestleMania on the biggest stage in WrestleMania 40, you want to sell it where it's the glitz and glamour. The NFL didn't want a couple of blue-collar teams in Detroit and Baltimore. They wanted the glitz and glamour of San Francisco and Kansas City. Nobody wants to see another Rhodes and Roman Reigns. They want to see Rock and Reigns for the championship. This is the glitz. I'm telling you guys, this is where it's going.
And I say what The Rock came out the other day saying he likes long-term booking. I think they're going to do a year like they did with John Cena and The Rock. Of course, once in a lifetime, they had a year to promote this and build this up. I think it's going to be WrestleMania 41, not WrestleMania 40. I disagree with you. I will bet you wings, food, whatever you want to bet your last dollar. I'll take your last dollar. Cody Rhodes will face Roman Reigns. He will beat him, defeat him. And
his story.
It's in the story. It's a great end of the story because he finally not only gets to win the title at the main event of WrestleMania, but he gets to do something his dad was never able to accomplish. And I love the fact of Rollins saying, this is a title that your dad would have appreciated. This is the title that the people want, but it's only 9 months old. That's a historic title that Roman Reigns has, the undisputed.
Yeah. Hey, one thing I want to say here, Peter. I'm hearing stories now that that now that Braun Breaker has emerged in the Royal Rumble, and he has to finish up what he's doing with Baron Corbin in that Dusty Rhodes tournament. I'm told he's going to come up. He's going to go up against Gunther for the belt, and that could happen at WrestleMania. I'm hearing
he may do that. That's where they may go up.
Or Brock Lesnar, but they're saying Lesnar don't want to come back because of Vince McMahon being gone. So.
All right, let me go out to the phone lines here. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on Turnbuckle Talk.
Hey, Peter, Jeremy, how you doing?
What's going on, Jeremy? What do you have to say here, man? You want to talk Bucs or you want to talk wrestling? What's up?
No, let's talk wrestling for once. I was actually at Monday Night Raw recently with a buddy of mine.
Okay.
Great show.
Thank you.
For the most part, I will admit, I think Gunther, it's just time to take the belt from Seth Rollins. Rollins had a hell of a run. I was hoping to see him Punk, but unfortunately he's fragile like a house full of kittens, unfortunately.
Well, it's disappointing, but the man's 45 years old. He's my age. I thought he wrestled a great match. I don't know why he continues to get hurt. He had a foot injury, he had a triceps injury. Now he had another triceps injury. That's just what happens when you get old, right? I mean, unless you're doing.
No, it's what happens when you stay out for 7 years and don't keep your body in shape.
Well,
that's what happens.
Wait a minute. He was in shape in AEW and still got hurt. I mean, he's stayed in shape. He's in shape. The endurance part of the Royal Rumble, it seemed like he was out of breath. But with that being said, you can't control injuries. And when you get older, it's harder on the body to come back. So hopefully CM Punk can finish his story next year. I thought it was cool with his promo. It was heartfelt. You could see tears in his eyes. He was at Amalie Arena, talking about being a Cubs fan, and there's always next year. Yeah. And that's going to be a good storyline because Drew McIntyre is the one that injured him. And, of course, with the DDT there, and he came out and basically took it to CM Punk. So there's your next storyline. There's your next story.
I am so sick and tired of the dummy Drew moron McIntyre.
Hey, he's getting ready to leave.
He doesn't know. He doesn't.
He's not leaving. No way. There's no way they allow him. Listen. There is no way they allow him to leave. They're not going to allow him to leave. Everybody talking about AEW. They will figure out a way to keep him because already, Ralph, you're talking about losing Seth Rollins for an extended period of time because the injury, you don't know how long that's going to be. You lose CM Punk for an extended period of time. Triple H is no dummy. They're going to figure out.
Yeah, well, MJF is still sitting out there injured and a free agent, so I think he might be coming to the WWE. That might be your savior.
Watch out for Karrion Kross, man. He's taking some gold.
Karrion Kross is not even a part of this conversation. I'm so tired of talking about.
I love that crew, Scarlett and all those guys. Man, they're going to take some gold.
Jeremy, go ahead.
No, I'm saying is, what about Okada? And his contract up? I heard rumor that he might come to WWE.
Yeah, Okada has been definitely rumored to be going to WWE. He's interested in WWE. He's actually reached out to officials there and wrestlers and stuff like that. So we'll see if that happens right now. And that was the report here. Let's see. Okada prepares to be a free agent as he leaves New Japan in February. He's taking his time, and according to Steve Carrier of Fightful Select, WWE has confirmed that he is engaged with talks with Okada representation recently. The discussions remain preliminary, so we'll see how that works out, but that would be a top free agent, and I'd love to see Okada with Triple H and what he could do creative wise. Really
what
well.
about the Hobbit, JD McDonough? What's going on with that whole?
He's terrible.
I can't stand that clown.
I can't stand him either.
Oh my gosh, Shady McDonough. That's Mark's favorite wrestler.
What they did to R-Truth the other night was just messed up.
Oh God, poor R-Truth, man.
Yes.
No, I loved it when JD McDonough didn't even make it to the ring at one point, and then finally he gets to the ring and he gets knocked out immediately. I loved it.
That was great. All right, Jeremy, go ahead and finish up. What do you have to say?
So if Gunther were to face Seth Rollins for the belt, who would be the wrestler to take the strap off the Intercontinental title from Gunther? Because obviously he's going to carry both belts.
You may keep them both. You may keep both titles on him.
I hope not.
You may do that. Mark, I'll go to you because you're shaking your head at this point. If
Braun Breaker's taking it.
Braun Breaker, that would be a guy. I think.
I don't know, but the whole Gunther thing with me and the Imperium,
the Ring General.
Yeah, the Ring General.
The Ring General.
Yeah, to me, he just doesn't have, like I'm looking at guys that know how to talk. This guy just doesn't have it. Kevin Owens,
he's
Seth
good on
Rollins.
the mic. I think he's good on the mic. Don't you think he's good on the mic?
Look at Roman Reigns, how he educated himself.
Okay.
And pushed himself to really, with the mic thing with Paul Heyman. Maybe this guy needs a manager or something, but
maybe
I don't know, man. Mr. Fuji or one of those guys could have helped this guy Slick. He needs a manager. Those two guys in the background that look like something out of Airplane, they need to go.
All right. Jeremy, thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call if you
want.
Thanks,
Jeremy.
All right.
Thank you,
No
Jeremy.
problem, man. Take care, guys.
All right. Good
All
stuff
right.
from Jeremy. Oh, the phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. I actually thought the women's Royal Rumble was better than the men's. What do you guys think? Bailey, of course, went.
Well, I was disappointed Jay Cargill. I wanted her to win. So, but
I had Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You and Nia Jax, but I love Jade Cargill. Of course, her debut there, coming out, overpowering Nia Jax, pushing her out of the ring to Mark's delight.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. Nia Jax didn't win.
Nia Jax.
No,
Nia Jax for you.
But I think, hey, you know what? It opened up something with Bailey now, and Bailey, this can get interesting here. All of a sudden, they were against her in that group, and now they're all, because they know they don't want her to come after that title.
Well, she's going to come after the title. It's going to be Io Sky. It's not going to be Rhea Ripley, like they're trying to tease. That's not what Bailey wants. It's Io Sky. It's going to break apart Damage Control. That's how you do long-term booking, and that's why Triple H is a master at this. Putting all these wrenches into place. But Bailey winning the Royal Rumble, bodyguard Ralph Williams. What did you think of that?
Oh, I liked it, but again, I thought it was going to be either Jay Cargill or Becky Lynch. And when I saw Bailey win it, there were teases that she was going to win it. She kept saying she was going to win it.
Yeah.
And so there we are. She's the winner. I would like to see her go up against Rhea Ripley. I'd like to see Rhea lose that belt. I can't stand her to begin with. And then, what I think we're looking at here, if Bailey decides to go up against Io Sky, guys, we could see Jay Cargill fighting Rhea Ripley or Becky Lynch. We could see one of them two.
I think it's Becky Lynch that goes against Rhea Ripley.
Hey, let me ask you. We have all the mega stars come out for WrestleMania.
Yes.
A long-term bet on this one. We've seen the boys from Cleveland show up in Buffalo and go, shirts off and eating buffet tables and going through suites. How ironic would it be for him to be in Philadelphia, Jason Kelsey, to be propping up? I mean, I'm just looking at a long-term thing out there,
He acts like a Buffalo Bills fan, that's for sure. He definitely does. I mean, you could see him being a part of Bills Mafia with taking off the shirt, showing off the belly, going through a table, Philadelphia being hardcore. I can't wait till WrestleMania 40, guys. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. And I think that the interesting match here is Jade Cargill versus the EST. Now, whether that happens at WrestleMania or in the future, you could definitely see there was something there with, of course, Bianca Belair. First,
right. Well, I have a report.
Take my money if that's going to be the match, because that's a damn good match that I definitely.
Well, there was a report out there by a source of mine that's usually pretty good with this information, and he said Bianca Belair and Natalya are going to TNA.
Wow.
I don't believe that at all. I do not believe that. If that
happens,
this
guy's usually pretty good with his information.
Where does this leave Kevin Owens in some of these guys? Because
I think Kevin Owens, great match versus Logan Paul, and I was surprised.
Yes.
I thought Logan was going to finally lose, and then once again, he had showed the brass knucks. They did a disqualification. I think LA Knight versus Logan Paul. I don't know where it leaves Kevin Owens, and a guy like Sami Zayn, right?
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah,
number 30, right? He's going to get a push now because CM Punk is out. Again, you have Seth Rollins maybe getting injured, so a guy like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens,
Damian Priest getting a push now, maybe out of that Judgment Day.
Well, he's not going to get it out of the Judgment Day, but most likely he'll cash in that briefcase. So a lot of things remain to be seen. How they set up the WrestleMania night 1 and night 2, we'll definitely be covering it. But going back to it, Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Is that the right match you do at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, or do you wait and you kind of build that up, Mark?
Well, if you're going to build it up, you got a couple months to build it up, and I would probably roll a 3-way: Rhea Ripley, Cargill, and EST in that one. That would be a hell of a thing. Usually, they start to tease these things, and then the last month we would find out we're going to have a 3-way dance on this. So that would be an interesting one.
What do you say?
Yeah,
Rob?
well, don't forget you have the Elimination Chamber coming up, and they could create a match where if you win the Chamber match, you go, to WrestleMania, or if there's, there's going to be Chamber matches coming up with the Elimination Chamber, and I'm thinking Triple H might have some kind of an idea here as to what we're going to do. Who's going to be the number 1 contender for Seth Rollins' belt, and that could happen at the Elimination Chamber, and the women's match could be the same. So let's see what happens there first before we make any predictions for the WrestleMania event.
Well, that's what we do here, Ralph. We make predictions. We do this.
Hey, I make predictions too.
Yeah,
I think our truth's going to win. So there you go.
I bet you do. All right, we're on Turnbuckle Talk. I'm your host, Peter.
Hey, that place was packed, Tropicana Field.
It was.
It was packed. Yes.
Through the race.
Listen, yes, it did, and the crowd was hot all night long. I mean, they were chanting. Yeah, I mean, you heard, LA Knight is completely over with the crowd. All you heard all night.
Yes, he is.
Let me talk to you. Yeah. I got tired of hearing that. But I love wrestling fans because you sit and you're just cheering or you're booing, and you could see the legitimate emotion, coming out of them. It was just amazing experience in itself. First time I've been to a Royal Rumble. Never, I went to a WrestleMania before, first in a lifetime, down at Miami. Now you get a chance to go to Royal Rumble, so it was awesome. All right,
good for you, Peter.
I've been to a Hell in a Cell.
That was pretty fun too, I bet, right?
Yeah.
I went to one of them odd. I went to one of them odd ones here in Pittsburgh. I forget what it was. Was it the faster one or something? One of those. Yeah.
Faster. Yeah.
Holiday tour.
I went to one of them. Yeah. I forget what it was. It was back in 2004. It was at the Mellon Arena when it was still up.
Hey, really?
And I got to see JBL against Big Show. That was the match.
Really fast.
For the title in a cage.
$8,300 cheap seat to see the Super Bowl. Is that a crock or what, guys?
Yeah, that's a crock.
Yeah. No, 9,000. I heard it's up to 9,000.
Guys, I'm staying at home watching the Super Bowl. Okay, I'm not.
Oh, come on, Peter, you got the money.
$45 hot dogs.
No,
$45 for a hot dog.
There is a hot dog there. I'm going to have ketchup on it.
There you go for Harry. That's right, dedicated to Harry.
Really, what idiots are going to this thing, packing it in? I mean, I'm standing here trying to figure it out. even if I had it, I don't think I'd spend it to go there.
No, I wouldn't.
I could do with $9,000, pay off all my bills. You know what I could do?
Yeah,
with
yeah,
$9,000?
you're talking about it.
You have to take out a loan.
Take it home, put it in the bank,
Yeah.
save it, let it go, collect it, pay
Mortgage your house or something.
Yes. All right, let's go back to the Women's Royal Rumble there. Naomi debuted from TNA. Of course, she lasted about an hour locally from Orlando. She got a round of applause. I thought she was very impressive. Jordan Grace, the TNA Knockouts champion, she was impressive. And I think it's interesting because usually you would see a wrestler and they would come out and not refer to them as the TNA Knockouts champion. But now it seems like WWE, TNA have a working relationship with Triple H as he's opened these doors. And Grace, I tell you right now, she's got the body. She has the attitude. Her and Naomi faced over there. They had a great match. Of course, Grace won that.
You know, the thing with Naomi, sometimes when she wrestles, I got to stop at the 99-cent store and buy shades because the outfits are too bright, man.
Yes, they are definitely bright.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, you could see them things from Las Vegas, and I live in Los Angeles.
She's worked on her skill as a wrestler. But going back to Grace here, Ralph, she's very impressive. I think eventually she's going to get that call to where she gets that big-time contract from WWE, and it helps that women's division that much more. I mean, can you picture matches versus a Jade Cargill? Can you picture matches against a Bianca Belair? Can you picture her with the match versus Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair when she gets out of injury? I mean, she could definitely go. She has the look. She has everything right now. I think she's going to finish her time. And she even said on one of her social media posts, it's not the last time you see me in WWE. So what do you say, Ralph?
Well, that could be happening. You know, they do have that partnership now. I didn't know it was happening this quickly until I seen her, Jordan Grace, in that match. It's nice to have this partnership. You might see some WWE stars over TNA, and you might see Nick Nemitz coming over here for a match or two. I mean, because there's going to be some trade-offs. So we'll see where this goes. I like this partnership. I think it'll work. TNA is starting to come up in the world. They're looking for a TV contract. You know, we'll see if they get it. They may be on the CW or one of them, channels. You know, so we'll see what happens.
We'll definitely see what happens there.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys watch NXT, but this guy by the name of Trick Williams, he's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. He was Carmelo Hayes' manager for a little while.
Yeah, he's got to get a little bit better on the mic. I think he's getting there. Of course, he has a significant pop with the crowd chanting, "Whoop that Trick." So he's definitely over with the crowd at this point. And according to Nick Hausman, the SmackDown creative team was blown away by the crowd's reaction to Williams, and some within the company now believe he's a future WrestleMania main eventer potential. The 29-year-old Williams has made his televised debut on the episode of NXT in 2021 as Hayes' sidekick, but over the course of time, he's become hugely popular in his own right. Williams also is set to pull double duty as he will first team with Hayes in the final of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic against Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. And then in the main
That's going to be a good match.
Yes,
that really is.
We'll challenge Isla Drakovic for the NXT Championship. So with all that being said, you've been around XPW before. What does it take, in your opinion? What is it? A look? Is it the way somebody comes across on the mic where you say, you know what, eventually that guy's going to be a main event superstar? You talk about Trick Williams. You've seen him. What do you see with this kid, Mark? And when do you know as a promoter that that's going to happen for that wrestler?
Well, I think you got to seize the opportunity when it's given. You got to have a little swagger. You got to be able, to grab that mic and start spewing whatever you got. You can't, it's almost like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
You got a few seconds to grab that, crowd involvement. And if you don't grab it in that few seconds, you could lose it. And we've seen some of these guys come through the pipeline that they're big built and they work out and everything, but they've got, they can't talk.
Yeah.
And then we've seen it the other way where the guys can't talk. They might not be built in stature, but they can hold the mic down. So I think it's a combination of both, but I think got to have a little bit of swag. You got to have the mic skills. And when I look at Trick Williams, he reminds me, and I got a brain fart now, that defensive back that used to play for the San Francisco 49ers and went to the Seattle Seahawks. I can't think of his name.
Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman. I thought it was Richard Sherman's brother, man.
He's
what's
a
Trick
big
Williams doing here?
He's a little bit bigger than Richard Sherman, but he definitely has that charisma to him, Ralph. I mean, what do you see with this kid? I mean, 29 years old. He's on NXT. He's doing double duty, and now they think he's a main event superstar. What do you see with him?
Oh, yeah, he's a main event superstar. There's no doubt about it. I've seen him wrestle. I've seen him with Carmelo Hayes wrestle. I think what I'm interested to see is whether or not Trick and Carmelo are still going to be friends. If he does come to SmackDown or Raw or wherever he's going to go, there could be a match set up. Trick goes up against Carmelo. That could happen.
All right, let's go ahead and go out to more rumors here from Dave Meltzer on wrestling.
Peter, let me ask you on that real fast if I can jump in on it.
Yeah, sure.
I know you guys aren't a big fan of it, but the Karrion Kross movement, man, this is exciting, man.
Listen, I
Charlotte.
am a Karrion Kross fan. I want to see him do well. I just don't know. He's with AOP, with Paul Ellering.
This is gonna get good.
I hope
they're trying to take out Lashley and the gang. So
but is it going to progress? Is this guy going to get to main event status, which I think he has the potential to be? When he was at NXT, he was a main event guy. He's got the gimmick. He's good on the mic. He's got the manager. He's now got the crew. Is it going to go anywhere? Am I going to continue to hear from this guy right here, the madman, how great he is? I know how great he is. Let's
face it, they invested in the Hobbit over there with Mysterio.
Okay, enough of the Hobbit, JD, and all that other garbage.
Yeah, but they invested into that, and who carried that besides Rhea Ripley was Damian Priest.
Right. Exactly. No, I agree.
Finn Balor couldn't hold the mic even when he was a face.
And it's interesting because they have and I guess Ralph disappeared. There's Ralph. They had this storyline going, and I think it's still going, that anytime Karrion Kross interacts with somebody, he brings out the worst in them. I love that. That's freaking great. Continue to do that. Continue to build this guy up, and we'll see what happens. I think the future is bright for WWE with all their super. We can't even talk AEW tonight. We usually talk AEW on the show. Can't even. There's so much news with WWE.
There's more going on in WWE, Peter. AEW is like a fart in the wind.
Well, it's nice to see Andrade left Charlotte Flair's bedside for a while. They jump into the ring.
Well,
and Buddy Matthews is leaving, and so is Malachi Black. They're coming back.
Malachi Black. Another guy I like.
And I love that for those guys, because that Triple H is going to be able to promote them, especially Malachi Black. He's going to be able to push them. What he did with that character at NXT, and then Vince and Bruce Pritchard, he ruined that character when he got up to the main roster.
They did.
Was disgusting. All right. Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that some people think that Brock Lesnar may never come back to WWE. Meanwhile, Wrestling Vote says there is new card variations on the table for WrestleMania 40. Now that Lesnar and CM Punk are out, Seth Rollins' status is still questionable. WWE will apparently take their time and consider just about everything. What do we think about Brock Lesnar being involved in this incident? Do we feel like he'll ever come back to wrestling? You never say never, but with the allegations that are out there, have we seen the last of Brock Lesnar, Mark?
Old McDonald had a farm, and I think Brock Lesnar's going to live on his farm there in Canada or something, but he's not coming back.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot of money to pay to get him to come on it. What do they give that guy? They give him
$1 million a match.
Yeah, $1 million from
just for one match.
They're not going to do that.
That's what him and Goldberg are getting. Well, Goldberg's not going to come back either.
I think Goldberg goes back to AEW. AEW eventually. Yeah. But Ralph, what do you think? Brock Lesnar ever back in the WWE?
No, because him and Vince McMahon had a very good relationship. Him and Triple H do not, and I don't see that happening. I see Brock Lesnar not coming back unless he's desperate and the WWE's desperate, because that could happen. But I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Let's go out to Meltzer again. He says on Cody Rhodes not announcing his WrestleMania opponent on Raw, they're teasing that. He'll think about the Seth Rollins offer. The idea is that they can build it up for a week or two and pop a big rating for Cody's decision. I think that's the smart thing to do because everybody assumes it's going to be Cody and Roman, which it will be. But you give a little suspense to it. Maybe he chooses Seth. I don't think so, but you build that up. And once again, that kind of builds up their rivalry going forward. What do we say about that?
Well, I still think, I mean, we've seen this dog and pony show before.
You still think it's gonna be Roman and Rock, don't you?
Well, you know me long enough. When I throw something out there, I'm not gonna wheel back on something else. I don't second guess myself on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think to have that thing on 40, WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, and I know people could say whatever they want. You know, it's not Los Angeles. Philadelphia is a pretty damn big city. You want the glitz and glamour. You want the New Yorkers coming over, people from Beantown. You want to drop it. You want to drop it with a big-time actor and The Rock. I just don't think people are going to, you know, and there's going to be people that are going to go against me on this. There's going to be people that say, you know what, maybe he's onto something. I just think if I'm going to open this can of worms, we're not talking about WrestleMania 36. We're talking about WrestleMania 40. And we're not putting this thing in Motown. We're putting it in Philadelphia. So the Rocky statue, why don't we get The Rock out there? Why don't we get Roman Reigns? I just don't think if you're going to finish a story, finish it after this when Reigns continues to beat everybody in his way.
All right.
And that's the difference between Reigns and Gunther, guys. Everybody tells me Gunther this, Gunther that. Who is Gunther? Reigns is taking everybody out.
Well, he's also done that with, you know, the Bloodline's help. And, you know, once again, the match the other night was just, who was shocked by that? Solo once again coming in, you know, giving everybody his finish.
Well, you know what's interesting, though, Peter? Nick Aldis now has egg on his face because he was trying to, you know, he was trying to do this, and then he forgot that. Well, wait a minute here, I'm putting him in a fatal 4-way, and we have, you know, it's no disqualification, and here we go again, you know.
Yep.
Nick Aldis is he's another guy. I mean, I'm sorry.
He's cracking a whip, Mark.
You're gonna try to strong arm the bloodline.
I like him too.
I love the guy. I
like him too.
But you're gonna strong arm the bloodline.
If he was, yes.
Okay, but when they turn, but guys, when they turn on SmackDown, and they're building ratings, you think Nick Aldis is building the ratings? It's Roman Reigns. It's a
Endeavor is tired of part-time champions, Mark. That's why they're doing this. Okay, and Logan Paul's going to go down, and that's the end of the part-time champions.
I don't know if Logan Paul will go down, but it would make sense if LA Knight gets the belt.
Yes, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of these part-time champions.
All right, guys, Kevin Patrick, who you did not like, is gone from the company. Surprise the other night, which, by the way, McAfee was an entrant in the Royal Rumble. He had.
I don't think he can make his mind up what he wants to do, guys.
His money back that he paid Aaron Rodgers $1 million to be on the show.
Well, who was in the ring the other night? The 7'3" Nightmare. What's his name?
Oh gosh, what was his name?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Hey, that's gonna be our next champ. There you go. Almost.
I don't know. He was in the ring, and Pat McAfee decided to make the business decision.
He kind of looked like Manute Bull, but he had a little more weight to him.
A lot more weight to him. Pat McAfee said, "Okay, I'm good." Went right back. He was about to come in as an entrant to Royal Rumble. Surprise!
McAfee, McAfee came back. I think he fits it. You know, I liked his words. He was blessed to be a part of it. He was humble. You know, I like McAfee. Boy, he's trying to get rid of that egg on his face with that whole Aaron Rodgers thing.
Well, I think he really hasn't, because Aaron Rodgers came on the show the next day after supposedly he wasn't going to go to him anymore. He's still going to go to him. So
maybe he gave him a
My
discount.
question is he going to stay with the WWE full time? And is he still going to do that college gig, that college, analyst gig? If he does all that, that's great. But I mean, is he going to stay? And not say, oh, I'll be on the commentary table and then 2 months later, I gotta leave. I gotta go college football.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Peter is out there with the Buccaneers, running with the players. He got a quarterback.
Well, good for him. I mean, but that's his job. I mean,
I got to do that. I got to do a sales job. I got to sell hot dogs with ketchup on it. I mean, I got to do all this various stuff. But if people are going to pay me to do it, I'm going to do it.
How do you concentrate? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got some good-looking cheerleaders there.
We just professional, my friend. Always
Randall L for OC. Randall L.
Possible. It's certainly possible. Okay. So McAfee comes back on Monday night. You like that move. Now there's talk that it's going to be Corey Graves and Wade Barrett on SmackDown. Now the problem with this, guys, is they're both color. So Corey Graves, do you see him as a play-by-play guy? Does that take away from Wade Barrett, who I think is very good at what he does, by the way? Mark, what do you say?
Ooh, that's pretty interesting, man. I mean, they're both color guys. Somebody's going to have to kind of segue, and it might have to be Corey kind of segueing, because I don't think Wade Barrett would make a good guy leading the way there. He kind of has his own way.
He's a color commentator. He's a Hill color commentator.
Yeah, so I don't. Corey Graves doing. I don't know if they can. That's going to be interesting.
That will be interesting. Graves and Barrett on SmackDown. Must see TV for you.
Yeah, but I like Corey Graves' jokes. I like the way he, some of his one-liners are pretty decent. Actually, his real name is James Polinsky, and he lives in Monroeville, PA. So,
he's got more tattoos than a tattoo parlor.
Well, he does.
Yeah, exactly. And his brother wrestles in the Independents too.
And also with Carmella. There you go, Mark. Yes. All right. I had to get that in there, guys. We're wrapping up right there. Mark, give me some final thoughts here on the great turnbuckle talk on the evolution of sports.
I think it was great as we head into WrestleMania. I think you guys need to, bow down to the tribal chief and acknowledge him.
Acknowledge me.
This is a guy that's really something. I'm looking forward to next week as we're getting into the Super Bowl. Days away, the conspiracy clash that the NFL really wanted with San Francisco and Kansas City. Glitz and glamour of Vegas, yes.
Yeah, because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Well, what do we got? We got this weekend. You got no football. You got the Pro Bowl, which is a disgrace.
The Pro Bowl.
So the Pro Bowl, exactly.
Hey, let me ask you something. 20 years from now,
this
was a topic. This was a topic on a show. I think football might be going to flag, guys. I don't know.
No.
There might be a professional flag football team.
Yeah,
you never know.
I don't know, man.
Mark, don't put that nonsense in everybody else's head. No, not gonna happen, Mark. Don't do that to us.
I love you. It was nice to see Tropicana field filled with all them wrestling fans. Tampa Bay Rays going to take notice. That's how you fill a stadium.
Well, that's how you fill a stadium, but you also have to.
You know what you need to do? Sell LA Night gear there.
Hey, Tampa Bay spends more money than the Pirates.
Come on, the Pirates are going to have a good year.
I don't know about that. We'll see, Ralph. Mark.
Let me tell you something. If the Pirates go to World Series, I'll do my shows naked.
Oh, please.
If the Pirates go to World Series.
This guy sucks.
How about no?
I said that about the Steelers if they go to the Super Bowl. And they're not. With Tomlin.
How about no? Oh, my God. Who the hell cares?
All right, Mark. Thanks.
Oh, God.
I'll see you later, buddy. Ralph, I guess you finish off with that, my friend. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, you know what? Somebody got to be a comedian here. It might as well be me. I'm an unemployed comedian. So there you go.
I appreciate you as always. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for having me, Peter. And don't forget Tuesday night Sports Corner radio show, 4 to 6 p.m. Beaver County Radio. Our guest this week, Matt Venzel from the Post-Gazette, to talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Matt Grubba from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds talk about their season, get ready to start up, and much more.
All right, good stuff. Definitely tune into that, and I'll see if I can make an appearance on one of those radio shows. All right,
I would love you to, man. I really would. I'd love you to make an appearance anytime. I know Wednesdays are tough for you, but I mean, maybe a Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe a Tuesday night. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Have a great one. Thank you.
Right. Yep, absolutely. Let's go back out to one more comment, and then we'll wrap it up for the night as my voice is starting to go out. I watched the entire Royal Rumble, and the Women's Rumble was great. Halfway through the Men's Rumble, I knew the final two was going to be Rhodes and Punk. Christopher Cole, you are a smart man.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot to all the guests tonight. The legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, and, of course, Amped Up Sports. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of this show, and, of course, the boys there for Turnbuckle Talk, Mr. Mark Mancini, the Madman, former XPW announcer, XM Sirius Radio. Definitely tune into that. And, of course, the bodyguard of the Berg, Mr. Ralph Williams. As always, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Facebook stars are out there. YouTube super chats. 3 things. You know them. You love them. You got to have them. Hopefully this voice gets better. Any breaking news, keep it right here on the Sports Web. We got you covered. Bucs fans, calm down. You love it. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you soon here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Have a great night.